Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Woo! Blah, 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 blah.
Here's the conditions, folks. Here's what's going on. Paul's sick. TJ ain't slept. Scotty, I presume, is... What percent are you at, Scotty? Are you at 100% or you just somehow at less?
TJ, you want to know how fast I'm going, TJ?
How fast are you going?
1,000,000 miles an hour!
Scotty's always fucking redlined, dude. He's always fucking at 1,000 RPM.
All right.
He's ready to fucking
Cool,
roll.
Scotty. I'm glad you're good. Carry this episode. I'm just gonna like fuck around on my phone and stuff. You have at it. Tell them about atheism, Scotty. Go ahead.
You can't
you
do
got
that,
this,
TJ.
Scotty.
All right, atheism.
You got it, Scotty.
All right, I got it. Okay.
Oh, he's nailing it.
Atheism
a person
is...
who disbelieves or lacks belief in the existence of God or gods. Got it? All right, let's do some stuff now.
No, that's wrong. Atheism is a religion.
Is it?
Yep, it's a new age religion where people turn God, let themselves into a god. They worship their own selfishness and greed. And that's atheism.
All right. Well, like, I would challenge that, but I really don't have any facts here.
Yeah, if only the amazing atheist were here. You know.
If only there was a
but
man.
he died in 2011, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
That guy died. Tragic. I thought
What
he was
are
still
you gonna fucking do, man?
I thought he was actually sent back to the war of 1988 and died there.
What happens is, you know, you get into the atheism, you fucking become a degenerate, you just start fucking around on screens all day, don't get no exercise, you get fat, you get fucking indolent and shit, you get chonk, you get the fucking chonk all over yourself, and then the next thing you know, you
discuss myself.
You gotta do a fucking show, you ain't slept. It's fucking horrible. Everything in fucking life is a goddamn nightmare.
Why didn't you fucking sleep, TJ?
Because sleep? I don't know. I tried.
No rest for the wicked, huh?
Exactly right. Exactly fucking right, Scotty.
You got bills to pay. You got mouths to feed. It ain't nothing in this world for free.
Fucking stupid bills and mouths. They suck. Fuck that shit. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so, What? What do you want? Gotta do an honest performance, right? You know?
This I'll tell you what this is, TJ. This is a cut rate fucking episode.
Cut rate fucking shit. Yeah.
Exactly what I expect from three fucking scamming losers.
You fucking make me go out there and fucking put this episode out there. Be like, yeah, everybody come watch this episode where I'm fucking dead. Come check it out.
Well, you know what? Maybe they can laugh at your downfall.
Come,
TJ.
everybody. Come see how far I've fallen. Look at me there. So youthful. So full of vigor. So full of vivaciousness. Look at the glint in my eyes.
TJ. That's what you've got going on, TJ. Vim and vigor, dude. I thought you were working out. I thought you were getting swole, TJ. Dude, literally the other day we were talking to us. You're like, I will soon be a Greek god. My place amongst Olympus is assured.
And you know, it's that shit that's fucking at fault too. Because like, I didn't realize how much I rely on stuffing my fat fucking gullet full of like sleepy foods. Like, going into food comas is basically how I fucking fall asleep. I've learned this. So now that that's gone, it's just like, okay, well, I guess I just don't sleep without that. So, but look at him up there.
You should work out before you go to sleep, TJ. That's
what
supposed to help.
Yeah, TJ, what about your pre-workout game, dude? Don't you got like some pre-workout shit, bro?
I did work out. Not right before I went to sleep, but
not before food.
I attempted to go to sleep.
I mean, like a supplement, dude. So you work out early on in the day, TJ, and then at the end of the day, you're tired.
What the hell are you talking about?
You gotta work out harder, TJ.
Mind.
TJ, don't you
lost your fucking mind, Scotty?
You gotta work out, bro.
I did
work yourself out.
I literally did work out.
What was your workout?
I guess it was yesterday at this point. What was my workout? Okay.
Yeah.
It was I don't know the names of all the exercises, but it was like.
How much cardio did you do, TJ? Do any cardio?
No cardio.
Did you do any clean and
jerk?
Like
this shit. I did this fucking shit with some weights. Fucking like 4 reps of like 10 of those.
Yeah. That I call that one the flabby butterfly.
Yeah, the flabby butterfly.
Look at me.
Beautiful monarch wings.
Flabby little butterfly.
I did
flap my wings.
I did this press up. I think that's what it's called. I did this shit. 25-pound weights, fucking 4 reps, 10 of.
That's called cheering. That's called cheering for instinct.
Yay! I'm fat.
I'm fucking fat. I'm fucking fat.
I don't know. I did some other shit too. Bunch of shoulder shit. It was all shoulder shit.
You didn't do shit, TJ.
Krista thinks I'm sexy. Whatever. Fucking, it's all good.
Catfish.
TJ will never stop being fat. Never stop being fat. TJ is fat. Hashtag whatever. You guys
anytime there's a female fan in our audience, it's a catfish.
It's always a catfish. 100% of the time.
It's okay. She's a paying catfish though, so that's okay.
That's all good.
Yeah, it's smart.
Probably got a huge cock, so it's all good.
Come here, TJ. Get what you deserve.
Come get what you come take your medicine. All right, so this episode opens with a quote from David Attenborough. My response is that when creationists talk about God creating every individual species as a separate act, they always instance hummingbirds or orchids, sunflowers, and beautiful things. But I tend to think instead of a parasitic worm that is boring through the eye of a boy sitting on the bank of a river in West Africa. A worm that's going to make him blind. And I ask them, are you telling me that God you believe in would, who you also say is an all-merciful God, who cares for each one of us individually, are you saying that God created this worm that can live in no other way than in an innocent child's eyeball? Because that doesn't seem to me a coincidence with a God who's full of mercy. What if they're just wrong about the mercy part, though?
Yeah. What if he's like a vengeful, disgusting, megalomaniacal, sadistic God?
Right. I mean, after all, the Bible says we're made in his image, so it would make more sense, right?
Yeah.
Just some fucking loathsome creature up there like, now I'll put a worm in that child's eye and I'll fucking give $1 billion to that scumbag. I wish we could blame it on something like that, but odds are we did it ourselves.
You did it to yourself.
So here's a photo of your typical fedora-wearing fucking atheist geek.
That's actually a trilby.
Yes, that is a trilby. You're right.
It doesn't have a wide enough brim to be a fedora.
Everyone called these fedoras until someone realized they could fucking actually it and be like, But yes, you're right. That is a trilby. It's not a fedora.
Would it be fedora-ish if I wore like a bowler hat?
No.
Because I've been really thinking about getting myself a bowler hat. But I don't want to be instantly like have people go like fedora.
I feel like you could. No one would say that. I think you would. I think you could just. If you had the fucking bowler hat, people would just be like, "You look like fucking that fat fuck from the comics you like so much. The guy that beats everybody up."
Oh, what the fuck?
Fucking.
It's like those old school like comic strips.
The motherfucker that tunes everybody, cleans everybody's clock. Yeah,
true.
That guy. I don't even know if he wore a fucking bowler, but you'd have that energy. I feel like
he did. He had a bowler.
Yeah.
That was really popular back then, dude. So yeah, I mean, Paul, you gonna bring the bowler back?
I'm gonna try. But I have a feeling that the first time I wear it, somebody's gonna be like, "Beard."
Oh man, he's wearing a fucking bowler style fedora. Loser.
I mean, is there any question that's gonna happen?
No.
Yeah, let's just be honest. Yeah.
It's instantaneous. The instant, it's not even gonna. You're not even gonna have to go online. It's just like the instant it touches your head. Some fucking asshole is gonna get like, oh, someone just put on a bowler. Now's my time to shine. I'm the guy that makes fun of fucking dorks who wear bowler hats. You think you're gonna bring the bowler back, bitch? Nah.
Dude, the smug is strong in this picture you put up here too, TJ.
Of course it is.
You're touching the fucking brim of your hat in that thoughtful kind of pose. I don't even know, TJ. I don't even know. Hey, at least you still had lenses in your glasses back then.
Yeah, back then. Back when I actually needed corrective lenses in my glasses. I was actually looking for my glasses my glasses frames before I came on here, but I don't know where they are, so who gives a shit? Who gives a fucking rat's ass?
It's in a basement, I believe, in this picture.
Yeah, I'm literally a neckbeard dwelling, trilby wearing, fucking tipping my hat like, "M'lady," you know. I actually didn't even have any of these hats until people started saying like fedora, 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 and then I got one of these because at this point everyone was fucking not making a differentiation between trilbies and fedoras, and I just thought they were the same fucking hat, to be honest with you. But I got one of those and kind of just like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking lean into it, and and here it is, you know, all these years later.
It looks like a diminutive witch's hat.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really kind of small on my fucking gargantuan melon head.
It looks like a baby witch hat, like a witch hat that you would put on like a junior witch.
Yeah, you're junior witch Chuck or something.
So are you trying to tell us that this is what defended us the last time religion reared its ugly head, TJ?
Yeah, this was your line of defense back then. I mean, not the only one, but you know, it was
the main one.
I mean, on YouTube anyway.
I was imagining like 300. The Christian army shows up. What do we got? We have 300 neckbeards.
Yeah, dude. If there was so you're probably gonna laud the Four Horsemen in this, but you were like the Four Horsemen's fucking squire, dude. If you were number one on YouTube, you got to be the squire to the Four Horsemen. You got to shine Daniel Dennett's boots before he went out, you know?
Oh, yes. The great Daniel Dennett.
The forgotten fourth horseman.
Yeah, dude, you got to put ice in Hitchens' drink, TJ.
I mean, they gave that guy that distinction so that they could fucking make that work, because there just wasn't another one that was on the caliber. Right. You know, they're just like, they didn't have another one that was up there on that Hitchens, Dawkins, even Harris level. So they're like, oh, God damn it. Who are we going to fill up? Okay. Michael Shermer. Fucking that bald guy that hosts the Atheist fucking public access show. I can't remember the name of because I'm too tired.
Matt Dillahunty.
Yeah, Dillahunty. Nah. He can't be the fourth horseman. I guess Daniel Dennett.
He would have made a better. I think Dillahunty
he probably would have been a better one, but still.
He would have been a better one, yeah, I mean, for sure.
I think that they felt like Daniel Dennett rounded it out more.
Because he was like the horseman of boredom. You know what I mean?
He was all into like the mythological bullshit, right? Like that was his thing, comparative like myth shit.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of goddamn whatever. So they had someone from that kind of like soft fucking yes kind of thing. Whereas, you know, you had the Harris who's like big in the neuroscience thing. Dawkins, obviously, fucking legend in the fucking fields of biology, and fucking Hitchens, who was like the sharpest tongue the world probably ever saw. So, you know, if you had fucking cunt face, whatever his fucking fat fuck bullshit name is, atheist experience guy on there, he would have just been like a fucking dime store fucking Hitchens. So there's no point in having that little fucking turd on there.
Kind of true.
Anyway,
I guess that is a valid point. If you got Hitchens on your side, I mean,
right.
you don't need anyone else with a gift of gab.
See, Dennett just kind of like you know, easily forget about him. Like, oh yeah, he said some things, I guess, and you try to think of like classic Daniel Dennett moments, and it's just like, you know, I can't do the cricket noise, but that's what it is.
You open the sarcophagus and there's nothing there. There's like some dust. It's like, what is this? You know, it's like there's a ton of Dawkins moments. There's a ton of Hitchens moments. There's a ton of Harris moments on YouTube. I don't think I've ever seen like, no, you know, take it back. I've seen one time like Daniel Dennett takedown. I clicked away after a minute. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Daniel Dennett destroys stupid religious college person. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, fuck that.
Daniel Dennett wasn't in the destruction business, man. They just needed a beard on the panel. That's really what I think.
Yeah, there's like, we need a bearded man. Enough of this. We got too many clean-shaven little pussy motherfuckers in here.
That's all I remember about Daniel Dennett.
Yeah.
I remember he was the bearded horseman. You know what I mean? He's a long, wise beard.
Anyway, so got some questions for you guys.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah. What is your definition of atheism? That's the first question.
A lack of belief in deities.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
a lack
it.
of belief.
There's really
in
not
gods.
much. Yeah.
Gods,
No gods,
goddesses,
no
the
goddesses.
supernatural, higher powers, anything like that.
Well, you
There's
actually can believe in the supernatural and still be an atheist. Now, I
Yeah,
don't
you
know
can.
why you would. I mean, like, there's people who do for sure.
I mean, like, so much shit is rolled under the term supernatural. Like, if you believe in aliens, you believe in supernatural shit. If you believe in like spirits or whatever, like non-specific, non-religious spirits, or if you just believe that, like, yeah, you usually fucking just turn into dirt when you die, but some people, like, their fucking essence escapes into the world or whatever. You can be
I
a
would just have
fucking.
to say proof of it or evidence of it. That
I
can
mean,
be
yeah, but like
sufficiently demonstrated. You know what I mean?
with atheism, though, like, you wouldn't even, like, they ask for proof and evidence when it comes to God. If you're not insinuating a God, then yeah, you as an atheist might, be better served by asking that question.
You know, and it's not atheism doesn't say anything about how someone became an atheist either.
Yeah, a lot of people do claim the supernatural. That's why I add that in, because they claim that God is supernatural.
Right, but it's like
that.
one of those things where, like, you can be. I mean, obviously, God is supernaturals, but you can believe in you can believe in other supernatural shit and still not believe in God.
Sure, yeah, of course,
And
yeah, of course.
Atheism doesn't necessarily connote skepticism either. Like, people are atheists for, like, even really stupid reasons. Like, I'm mad at God because he fucking killed my son in a drunk driving accident, so I don't believe in him. I'm an atheist now. I reject it.
Just for the wrong reasons, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
like,
those guys, those atheists gave us all a bad name, because back in the day, that's what religious people said we all were. Remember?
yeah, I mean, if
You're
you
mad at God.
that's still the stereotype of an atheist from, like, people like Kevin Sorbo, like,
Yeah.
that's how he rolls with it, basically.
My fucking child was killed in a car accident. Where was God? Yeah, I get it.
Where was God when my child died? My son is dead. Where was God? Where was he? He's a fucking jerk off. Where the fuck was God?
He was busy.
Question number 2. How old were you when you realized that you were an atheist?
I mean, I kind of, like, misunderstood the term atheist or whatever for a long fucking time. And I had this, like, idea in my head that I had to learn myself out of, that agnosticism and atheism were two wholly separate things.
Right. That was, like, pretty common. I mean, it still is, I think, a pretty common misconception.
Yeah. And so it was around high school I started calling myself an agnostic, and I got my Darwin fish and put it on the back of my car, you know what I mean? So I'd say I was probably pretty functionally an atheist in high school, but I didn't really call myself an atheist until I was, like, my very early 20s, when I learned that, atheism, and I am kind of an atheist. Okay.
How about you, Scotty? When did you realize it?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're saying to codify it, it's kind of similar to Paul's, but the last time I actually ever thought of religion as true or real, I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. Like, I put any stock in sort of a god or whatever. Like, when I was very little, like, I was like, everyone around me was like, religion. And dude, you know what my proof of religion was when I was 5? Someone gave me a cross, and I was like, okay, if I pray to this cross and I fall asleep really well and I sleep really deeply, I always had a horrible time sleeping. I'm like, God is real, and I'm going to be religious, whatever, right? And I did, and I was like, God's real.
That proves that.
So, but then growing up with TJ, like, he was so skeptical of everything that I think that just rubbed off on me. I mean, I was gullible as shit, but TJ's like, there's no God.
Should let TJ borrow that cross, man. He's having trouble sleeping.
Yeah, I know. If I'd have only prayed to that goddamn cross, I'd be fine.
I felt really bad too. Like, as a dumb little kid, it was like a kind of like a clay one. You know what I mean? Like, or like terracotta or some shit. And I smashed it playing with it. I was like, oh my God, I'm in big trouble. But that also might have been instrumental that nothing happened to me after I broke the cross. Because I was like, I thought the cross had some power. You know what I mean? When I was 5, and it didn't. So it's like, oh shit, there's no power to this. Like, that's kind of strange.
Yeah, you just think it's like kills vampires and shit,
I thought it did all kinds of crazy shit.
The thing I remember was when I was a kid. I don't know how old I was exactly. I think I was like 7 or 8, maybe. I took some sort of like little IQ test puzzle thing that Mom had taken it and Steve had taken it.
Oh, I remember this.
It was basically like a series. It was like a pattern, recognition thing. It's like
it was like, how good are you at patterns?
You had to choose
TJ?
the next picture in a pattern based on what you saw in the 3 pictures that were there, and you had to fill in the blank. And so you'd sit there and you scrutinize these shapes and try to figure out which one was next in the sequence based on how the
previous pattern.
Yeah. So I took the test, and based on my score and my age, I scored 165, which was higher than my mom or Steve.
Yeah, you were like genius level. I remember that. Like, dude, Mom and Steve were like, TJ's a genius. TJ's a genius.
Steve didn't like it. Steve was like, bullshit, you fucking cheated. And I was like, I didn't cheat. I swear to God. He's like, you don't even believe in God. And it was really just some like petty, weird shit that he was on. But like something clicked in my brain at that moment. Like, wait a minute. That's an option? Like, I don't have to believe in this shit? Okay. I don't. It was kind of like, wow, you're right. I don't. Thanks. You've helped me come to a realization.
That's pretty funny.
And then,
dude, Steve's gonna love that. I gotta tell Steve that shit. You know what? He's an atheist because of you.
Yeah. So then, I was driving down. I was riding in the car with Mom like a few weeks later or whatever, and I was like, Mom, what's a person called who doesn't believe in God? And she's like, an atheist. And I was like, I'm an atheist. And she's like, oh God, I failed as a mother. Oh, my baby's a heathen. No. And I was like really shocked that she was crying, because like the reaction I honestly expected was like, wow, son, you're so smart. You're so clever. You saw through that bullshit too, huh?
Never distraught, dude. When like Mom talked about you being an atheist, it was like always like, Scotty, you will not believe it. I feel like I failed as a parent. Are you an atheist? And I was like, I've always been more sensitive to that kind of shit. And I was like, no, Mom, I believe in the magical sky fairy too. Don't worry. Like, what's funny is I never had to have that big thing. Like, I always feel bad for you, TJ, because you're just a person that like is more willing to speak your mind and just deal with the shit. I'm always more of like I'm gonna just placate you and just lie to you kind of thing. But
Except with our dad, it was the opposite there.
Well, dude, you know what it was? Like, I was able just to drift into atheism as far as that was concerned. I was like, I just never went to church and never had anything to do with it. And eventually was like, are you a Christian? I was like, no. Oh, okay. It was such a gradual, slow process of me not giving a shit. There was never like this big, Plus, you were the oldest one, so when you fucked it up, it just blames you anyways. It's TJ's influence.
God damn, TJ let his brother down to hell.
Yeah. So I never got any shit. It was always TJ getting the shit. So thank you for that, TJ.
The next question.
I was kind of the eldest too, so I was kind of afraid of that reaction that TJ was talking about. If I were to have said that I don't believe in God, my mom would have been all distraught and shit. And like, I remember back in the 90s too, at least in like area I was raised and the people I was raised by, like atheist was one of those terms that you would say like, it's like almost like dropping the N-word in public. You know what I mean? People would get all like hushed and be like, he's an atheist.
He's a
what?
He's an atheist. That's so nice. That guy's over there is an atheist.
And I was just like, oh man, there must be something wrong with that. So yeah, I think that's what kept me from the word for as long as I
don't blame you, because like
that's not uncommon, Paul. This Taylor had a very similar thing. Like she stopped going to church when she was like 12 years old and stuff, and wanted nothing to do with religion. But it was like it was never codified. It was just like, oh, church is boring, or I don't want to go, or I'm not interested in this kind of stuff. Where it's like, oh, you're still a Christian. You just have your own little path. Like you're one of those Christians that like you don't love church, but you love God and you love and you're right with all that. But then eventually you have to tell people like, hey, I'm not. And then obviously super religious people around you just go like, what? Like, how can you do that? Like, dude, me and Taylor like burned a Bible like a couple years ago, and her aunt, who like everyone in her family fears as being crazy, like tried to call her, and Taylor just wouldn't answer. He's like, nope. Even being an atheist, like I'm not talking to my crazy religious aunt. Just because, like, because she has a healthy reputation. For some reason, their family. I've never seen it because I've only met her a couple times. But she was like, "No, I can't talk to my head."
Well, it's funny you bring that up because actually, the next question here, and I guess it is the natural sort of thing that you've shown me with that story, is that how has atheism affected your relationships with family and friends?
Who wants to go first with that one?
Well, you were already in the middle of a story, so you might as well just continue.
I guess. That's Taylor. My personal experience, like I said, I've never really gotten that with people because I'm also a very private person. I don't like go around advertising whatever I believe. Doesn't mean I'll agree with you or I'm going to placate you necessarily at this age of my life. When I was younger, I definitely was more placated because I just always wanted people to get along. I just don't like fighting with people because, I'm not very good at maintaining, like, as far as like a decorum. It's like I'm instantly just gonna go like, let's fight or let's do this. So like I try to avoid fighting.
I have the same thing. I really do.
I'm not good at balancing that part of myself, but I never really got any shit for it because of the fact. So I'm kind of, I think, unique in that, and also just no one around me really cared. Like my mom, I'm a Christian. Oh, Steve, I'm a Christian. Or Dad, I'm a Christian. But no one ever gave a fuck.
For me, growing up in a similar sphere, so I won't spend too long on this. Like after Mom's initial, like she pretty much never seemed to give a shit again. There was that one time where she was like, "Fuck," and then after that, I never really heard about it.
At least she didn't hound you about it. You know what I mean?
No,
like she pretty much
just accepted it after that. She's like, well, he's gonna fucking have to walk his own path in life. I don't know.
She probably did struggle with it as a religious person, but she didn't push that off onto you, and that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like she did in like subtle ways, but I never felt like she was like trying to shove religion down my throat or anything. In fact, most of the religious people I've ever had dealings with have been pretty respectful of my beliefs. Like even to the point where, like, when I was at Chelsea's grandfather died a few years back, and I went with her to attend the funeral and stuff. Well, I didn't actually go to the funeral, but I was there to be some moral support and stuff. But we were at her I think it was aunt's or some relative's house. And anyway, they all know I'm fucking an atheist and shit. And,
of course, I mean, yeah,
and they're like, we better go in the other room to pray because we don't want to offend, the atheists. I'm like, what? No. Whoa. No. Come, guys, seriously, fucking do not feel the need in your own house. I mean, like, Jesus. Like, fuck.
I've been waiting to have that interaction with religious people my whole fucking life. What do you mean, no?
I don't know.
Please do leave the room to do your weird little ritual. I have my problem's the other way around, man. My family wants to fucking like try and get me in the hand holding circle and shit. They won't stop with it.
Peaches.
I never really had that experience that much. I know that other people have that experience all the time, so I've just gotten lucky, like, I guess.
Mine's been so mild, dude. The horror stories I've heard from other people, dude, it's like I feel like my shit was nothing compared to some people.
Oh my god! I mean, like being
their houses disowned entirely. Actually,
being the amazing atheist, I heard some fucking. I had to just like harden my heart to that shit because I was just I don't even want to fucking. I can't even feel this because this is too much.
Taylor knew I was friends with a girl that basically her family was super Baptist, like mega Baptist. Like we went to their wedding, her wedding with her ex-husband now at this Baptist church, and was like, I mean, like literally, like it was one of the most awkward fucking things I've ever done in my life. But it was like someone she really knew. It's like I'm like, oh my god, I guess I'll go. I did not want to go at all, to be honest with you, because I don't want to go to fucking church. I hate churches. I hate the religion.
It really sucks.
But I was like, okay, it's a wedding. I guess I'll do it just for you. I'm basically doing it for Taylor. I didn't do it for any other reason. So we go to the fucking thing. And it's super religious. And in the middle of the ceremony, she's like, see the guy who's like the preacher, the pastor of the fucking Baptist column? It's like, yeah. It's like, the last time I saw that dude was at a house party where he was naked. And like, he's got like really like long balls. And he was like high on LSD, like rambling about bullshit. And I'm like, wait a minute. Now he's like a pastor. It's like, yeah. Well, like he found God and shit. It's like, this is such a fucking scam.
But
it's like
LSD probably.
Basically, the girl said she was a Baptist because like her parents were paying for her school and all that other stuff, and she wanted to obviously get a college education. But the minute she said, "Okay, I'm not," I think I'm actually bisexual, and I think I'm an atheist, it was like, "You are ungodly. Never come around us again." And I just can't imagine being raised in a family where like you would all differ from that, and it's like you're just totally rejected. So, like I said, I don't think any. I mean, maybe Paul, you have a worse story like that or some shit like that, but I've never personally experienced that kind of shit, and I know a lot of people have. So, like, I think I'm really lucky, and being a teacher, just lucky and fortunate in that respect.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've heard fucking crazy stories about religious families that, you know, a lot of times, like, they'll have a family member who's like trans or something that will die, and then they will like bury them, you know, as the wrong gender, basically. Like, oh, this was our son, Mark.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not how he fucking identifies. She identified. Sorry, hypothetical person anyway. But, you know, yeah, so it's like pretty crazy. But I've never had personal dealings with anyone that was that far into the fucking, I mean, I might have dealt with them in some tertiary way, but, you know, no, I've never had an intimate person I've known that was like that.
Yeah, my family was not super religious when I was young. And I never really had the breakdown, like when my mom found out or whatever. She might have been bothered by it, but she never told me. But I deal with it more now because my biological sister is super, super religious. And my mom in her older age has kind of like lapsed into that as well. And so now pretty much like my whole family on that side, which, you know, I used to spend a lot of time with, now I just kind of avoid because every get together they do turns into a church function. You know what I mean? And it's it's my, you know, a few of my family members and then a bunch of fucking dorks I don't know. And
that sucks.
Everybody's talking about fucking religion and the church and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm just kind of like, you know, the fish out of water at the place. Everybody kind of gives me the side eye and shit.
Who the hell is this fucking weirdo?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's why when our dad died, we had to contact, obviously, like he was like basically kind of like you, Paul, oldest, but has a bunch of sisters.
Yeah.
Some of them already died, but one of his sisters, our Aunt Irene, it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna come to the funeral. Like, okay, what church is it gonna be at? Like, blah blah blah. And we're like, it's not gonna be religious. He didn't want a religious thing. It's like, oh, it's not gonna be religious. Oh, I can't come. I'm not. We're not gonna travel all the way from Louisiana for some just party or something.
Yeah, count me out.
So if it's not gonna be some super religious thing, then I was like, oh man, I'm glad I never.
My brother's funeral, huh? Count me out of that bullshit. Miss me with that. It's like, all right.
Yeah. It wasn't even like our dad was, I mean, pretty conservative, to be honest with you. He just didn't want a super religious funeral.
Yeah, he was conservative, but he wasn't really religious. I mean, well, he was, but maybe not in like any sort of traditional way, you know?
More of like a deist kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
his whole thing was like, he'd always sit down and be like, are we mortals or are we immortals having the mortal experience? He never actually went like this, but it basically he might as well have.
Right.
So, yeah, I was so wise. Girl told me that at a party once. She was so wise. Like, was she? You sure she wasn't just high?
Yeah.
Probably stoned out of her fucking mind.
Mushroom wise, dude.
All right. Do you think people would believe or care to believe in any religion or worship any god if a promise of an afterlife was not present?
Yeah. I don't think the concept of God is utterly dependent on the afterlife.
Yeah.
I think that people could probably be sold on the idea. I don't know about like the ones that most people are familiar with, like the Christian God obviously wouldn't be able to be propped up without that promise of eternal bliss or
unless he'd have to at least do some more stuff for you in this life then. It had to be like, oh, God controls luck, you know, and all this. You pray to him more, you get more luck. Recharge your luck meter with more prayer.
God just becomes like your AI, where it's like you're begging the AI for like more luck points or more talent points.
They're like Wiccans and stuff that worship nature, and they basically believe the truth. They believe that like we return to the soil or whatever afterwards. They might add a little woo-woo on top of it with like, you know, your essence permeates the forest or whatever the fuck. But, you know, there's no real like afterlife to speak of there, I suppose. So I think it's possible, but it's not usually that way.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I would have to say that the afterlife thing is a pretty big part of the fucking, you know, the whole like package of appeals there.
Well, that's most of the sales pitch with modern religion. Is like, well, even if your life sucks now, don't worry because, you know, the hereafter is going to be great. everything's after after your worm food, you're not really worm food. That's like your physical body.
Well, let's talk about this guy.
Your soul.
It's about one of these bearded fucks.
This is a very famous atheist quote.
Paulus Epicurus here.
Yeah. This is one of the Parky bloodline right here.
Yeah.
Of course he said, is God willing to prevent evil but not able? Then he is not omnipotent. Is he able but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? Is he neither able nor willing? Then why call him God? And pretty much, yeah, there you go. It's it's pretty much done there.
I like that a dude that there's a fucking like ancient marble statue of had all this bullshit figured out fucking like 800 years ago,
More than that.
Yeah.
Actually, it was more like 2,340 something years ago. But whatever.
Man. That's gotta feel bad as a religious person to read. Like, if you're smart enough to because I think a lot of religious people are just not smart enough to even understand what's being posed there. But if you happen to be like a reasonably intelligent religious person reading that's gotta feel bad. That
it's like, man, that guy
sure
outthought me.
It's like before Christianity was even a religion, he had it figured out. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking about some fucking like proto shit. Probably, probably some fucking Greek shit.
I mean, it's just an exercise in logic. That's all it really is.
Maybe even he might have been talking about Jews too. So, anyway, we're gonna learn a little bit about this motherfucker besides just this quote. He lived from 341 to 270 BC in ancient Greece, considered by many to be one of the earliest atheist thinkers in history. Despite his non-belief in God, Epicurus was known throughout his life for his joyful nature and his concern for the well-being of children. What are some beliefs of Epicurus? The soul / ones being made of material objects. Therefore, when you die, the soul dies with you. There is no afterlife. Gods technically could exist. However, if they did, they have nothing to do with human beings. Religion is just humans trying to behave in the same narcissistic, holier-than-thou way that they themselves believe gods do. Gods are merely idealized forms of human life. Epicureanism is a philosophy built around the teachings of Epicurus. It focuses around pleasure-seeking and the eradication of pain, fear, anxiety from humanity. I have a little brief description of exactly what that entails right here. If I can get the fucking slide to go. All right, I'll just do it manually.
Dude, I may join this motherfucker's ranks, man. I may become an Epicurean. I could get rid of pain, fear, and anxiety.
It's like Paul's like, yeah, sounds good to me. Holy shit.
Did Epicurus have this shit figured out fucking like 3,000 fucking years ago?
Prepare for the 57 seconds that will change your life.
All right,
awesome.
Here it goes.
Epicureanism.
Okay, prepare for me to raise the volume of the... I thought I already raised the volume of all these clips, but I guess
You didn't raise shit,
stupid
TJ.
as fuck, so I didn't.
The school of philosophy
Goddamn stupid atheist.
founded by Epicurus. Epicurus was a materialist who advocated a sort of hedonism which sought to optimize pleasure and minimize pain. Epicureans did not believe that the gods interfered in man's life or that there was an afterlife. Hence, they sought to get the most out of the life that they had as possible. The Epicurean approach to hedonism is unique in that it stresses moderation and limiting the desires, as opposed to feeding them. This realistic approach to pleasure limits the negative effects of overindulgence and leads to an overall happier person. Epicureans also believe that to achieve the greatest happiness, people should do no harm to others, that they may also receive no harm in return.
Nice. I don't really like the whole limiting of pleasures part, but whatever,
Yeah, every rose has its thorn,
I guess so.
Less pleasure.
It's a pretty it seems like a pretty reasonable way to live your life to me. I don't look at it and be like, that's a waste of your time and fucking existence on this planet. It's like, no, that's actually a pretty rational way to conduct yourself.
I think a lot of people that maybe have never even heard of Epicurus already kind of operate on that, but at least those basic principles.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a pretty basic like system of belief. I mean, obviously, this is a super simplified, fucking 57-second whatever version, but
there's got to be a lot more to it.
But like closed capsule, just like, hey, here you go. Here's what you fucking do. Seems pretty reasonable.
Is there a magazine that's kind of based on this too?
Probably.
I think there's a magazine.
There's one thing I know from
food, wine, and travel and all that kind of shit.
Going into bookstores and shit, especially like these like big fucking boutique bookstores and shit, not boutique, like these giant bookstores in like tourist areas, like the fucking 3-story Barnes and Noble or something. There's so many fucking magazines in existence that is like. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, it's like, how the fuck are there this many fucking magazines still? Don't we have the internet now? But the internet just became subsumed by like social media and narcissism. So I guess you do need a magazine for like actual information at this point.
Yeah.
What is real? Okay.
Who the fuck is this loser? Who the fuck is this? Get out of here, Lucretius. This is Titus Lucretius Carus. Lived from 99 to 55 BC, was a Roman poet, early atheist philosopher, who introduced Roman readers to Epicureanism. He was ahead of his time, had ideas that later turned into atomic theory, the theory of evolution, and even perfectly described the Brownian motion of particles. Not much is known about his life other than he was a genius whose theories and ideas led to several advancements in science and philosophical thinking. So let's learn some of the beliefs of Lucretius. Here's a quote. So potent was religion in persuading to evil deeds. Lucretius believed the idea of God and gods combined with fear of one's own death made for an unhappy life. I judge that to be pretty true.
Yeah.
I feel like there are some people who I think take to the God thing and do find some kind of happiness in it, but for every one of those, I feel like I know 10 that seem kind of miserable.
I feel like even the people that find happiness in God, I don't really like. They would tell you it's happiness, but I really feel like they find like a mask that's shaped like happiness. Like,
yeah, I feel like that is mostly what you see.
I feel like that most of them have like a lot of turmoil in their personal lives and they internalize a lot of it. And I know for a fact that a lot of super religious people do this keeping up with the Joneses thing where they present outwardly when they're in public, like, oh, we're the perfect little happy family, but at home shit is in shambles. You know what I mean? So I don't even know how much I believe that people find genuine and lasting happiness in religion.
I don't think it's that many. I think usually the people who I think actually find the happiness in it are the people who are like kind of using it to socially manipulate those around them and are just really good at it.
Well, those people tend to find the most success with it. So I can see why they'd be happy. Like, religion is great. I get to use this tool and make a bunch of money and have whatever I want. Yeah, I love it.
I feel like, especially, and my experience is rather limited to mostly just like evangelical Christians and stuff. But I feel like that group of people, they kind of operate on the fake it till you make it principle, but they never really make it. They're
just like fake it while you're trying desperately to make it, and then die, and then hopefully there's a heaven. Maybe, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you're so right. I mean, like a lot of these people that report themselves like evangelical Christians, like if you'll go out and see them like interact with those people, there's like such a false niceness to them, like where it's like that person is miserable.
He believed that actions such as natural disasters and strokes of good fortune should not be credited to gods or gods, to a god or gods, and it's foolish to basically like you have some good fortune, you praise God. You have some bad fortune, you fucking curse God. It's like
every sporting event in the U.S., dude. Oh, I like to thank God for this. Like, oh my, I hate that, dude.
It's like sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down.
For me,
God's not choosing. God's not deciding whether the dice lands on 3 or 7 or whatever. It's just a bunch of fucking hooey, man. It's a bunch of superstitious bullshit. Lucretius believed if gods do exist, they live in Metic Somia, aka the space between worlds, He basically believed that if gods existed, they were interdimensional beings from another universe that had nothing to do with our own. Just totally separate from our existence.
He's probably right about that, to be honest with you. Like that, if you want to look for something that might be like godlike from our perspective, it probably exists in one of the upper dimensions or whatever the fuck.
Somewhere else. Not here. Nature experiments endlessly, and organisms adapt to their environments in order to survive. He basically had a very early sort of like pre-codified science view of evolution. Just like, you know, he viewed, the creatures of nature as being adapted to their environments, which is a pretty fucking advanced thought for someone living in his time period.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So humans are not superior to animals, and many show the same love and will to survive as humans. They merely lack our intellect. So pretty enlightened fucking viewpoint from a guy. I'm not even that enlightened, for fuck's sake. He's still ahead of me on that one. I'm still eating cheeseburgers. Well, not cheeseburgers, but I'm eating chickens. So that doesn't really, Chickens are even stupider than cows, though. I mean, like, at some point, doesn't the intellect thing have, like, some bearing, right?
I guess it depends on your philosophy.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess.
I bet right. Lucretius would have said no.
No. But. So this is how do you pronounce when Ibn? It's just Ibn.
This is the Guru Pitka, TJ.
Oh yes, this is Guru Pitka, of course. This is Ibn, I think, al-Rawandi. He lived from 827 to 911. Unfortunate death year there, man. He was a Persian theologian. He was one of the earliest critics of Islam and an atheist thinker in the Middle East. Obviously, he did not win. Originally a Shia Muslim, Rawandi eventually realized it was all a bunch of bullshit and became an atheist. He wrote 114 books, with most of them criticizing Islam. Most of these books were destroyed by the followers of Muhammad or lost to time. Right. Books including The Scandal counters arguments of Islamic theologians and makes the case that they are inconsistent. The Refutation attacks the Quran and Islam. The Book of the Emerald critiques prophecy and rejects Islam. And, a whole shitload of more books, but mostly all destroyed now. Rawandi's teachings still anger many of the followers of Islam and even some Jews and Christians. To this day, teachings such as Muhammad was a scam artist, religious dogmas are in no way acceptable and need to be shunned by society, religious traditions are lies, sorcery is not real, miracles are absurd, the existence of Jesus is shoddy and can't be agreed upon by Abrahamic religions. So basically just like,
the glove fits.
He's just like, you guys are all full of shit. This is a bunch of nonsense. You're stupid. I don't know how he died, but I'm going to assume it was like not well.
Yeah, beheaded or whatever the fuck.
He lived a long time. I'm assuming he died at old age. He said 827.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, but I'm assuming he was not well liked. Maybe it was an unusually tolerant time and place, because this shit would get you killed in like a lot of fucking the Islamic world today. So,
but you know what it was? He had the best fucking hashish, dude. People like, let us kill him, and then it's like, oh wait, he'd like come into my tent. they smoke up, dude. They're like, you know what? This is all kind of bullshit, isn't it? All right, see you later, man.
Yeah, maybe that's it. He was just like, he realized it was all bullshit because he was a stoner. He's like, yeah, man.
He was their weed dealer, dude.
Dude, Islam is like bogus, bro.
This guy was trying to save a whole region from fucking the darkness of ignorance.
Yeah, just imagine, dude, if we could imagine how cool it would be if you could travel to the fucking universe where fucking Ibn al-Rawandi fucking won.
Well, him and the rest of these dudes, just religion's just like petered out.
Like, everyone's just like, yeah, that is full of shit. Here we are 2,000 years later. We still got dumbasses going around believing it. Oof. Humanity.
No, the people wandering the desert, that say the magical man came down from the sky and helped him. That's all real. It's like, why are we still believing this shit? I don't get it.
Bunch of damn bullshit. All right, so we also have this guy, Mr. Mustache Man. Mr. Big old mustache man.
I know you're going to trot this one out.
I know you're going to trot this here Nazi out here.
We don't need Nietzsche here.
We don't like us no Nietzsche around these here parts. Boom, 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 boom.
You may have heard some atheist philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche.
Friedrich.
Oh, I've heard so many. Nietzsche is how I used to say it as a kid because you couldn't fucking just like, yeah, this guy Nietzsche, he's fucking pretty good. Friedrich Nietzsche, prominent German philosopher that is famous for his atheist views and his quote, "God is dead." Here you see another quote: "I cannot believe in a God who wants to be praised all the time."
That's kind of a weak quote.
Yeah.
Because, like, could you believe in a God that wants to be praised, like, some of the time?
Yeah, like, be more specific, Nietzsche. Well, knowing Nietzsche, it was probably a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
Because he was like, sometimes you read a fucking Nietzsche sentence and you end up like, wow, I'm on a different page. I'm like several pages away from where I started. And that was, there was never a period in between them. So anyway, he was a prominent German philosopher. Famous for his atheist views. His quote, "God is dead." Some of his beliefs and teachings include nothing is fundamental, nothing is inherent to humanity, and nothing is absolute. He believed in challenging orthodoxy and questioning every aspect of everything, which is basically like basically like laying the foundations of postmodernistic thought. Create your own values, become the Übermensch, Superman, by giving up your longing for God and eternal life in order to create a better world for today. Here is Nietzsche's basic "God is dead" quote and his nihilism explained.
Yes. The gentleman thinker. Yes.
The gentleman thinker, yes. It's actually Philosophy Tube.
Gentleman thinker. Philosophical concepts explained in brief in a posh English accent.
Cool.
Nietzsche's Übermensch, God is dead, and nihilism.
God
is dead was Friedrich Nietzsche's rather dramatic way of saying that, in his opinion, God was no longer a philosophically strong explanation of the source of moral values. If one
never was. All those other guys realized that way before you, Nietzsche. Sorry.
Doesn't believe in God, Nietzsche thought, one inevitably falls into nihilism, here meaning both moral nihilism, the lack of belief in moral values, and existential nihilism, the lack of belief in any intrinsic purpose or meaning of life.
Nothing matters.
For some, this confrontation with nihilism can be crushing. For others, however, it can be liberating. Faced with nihilism, Nietzsche thought we have an opportunity to create our own values, affirm our own uniquely human mode of existence, to go beyond the traditionally theological concepts of good and evil. The person who does this is an Übermensch, or overhuman. The next logical questions are, what precisely does it mean to be an Übermensch, and who can be one?
You gotta join a little crazy, angry, mustachioed guy that's going, right, you know?
Oh, God.
Then you're an Übermensch. Well, this was used. I mean, this philosophy in its like basic essence was used by the Nazis for like that purpose. Now, it was a total misreading of everything that was actually in the fucking book, but
I think it does show an inherent flaw to Nietzsche's idea.
I do too. That's kind of why I brought it up.
We've got to replace this idea of God with some other philosophical construct that elevates man beyond his station. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I kind of feel like everybody should fall down that hole between existential nihilism and moral nihilism and stay down there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is what's liberating to me.
Yeah, just like cuck yourself to the fucking meaninglessness of the universe already. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Just
don't put on the super suit and fly out and fly past the idea of God and create something even worse.
Now, like the fundamental idea of like, you know, try to be better and stuff, not so harmful in and of itself, I guess. Like, you know, try to be good in the world and, you know, all this, but like I think the problem is like this idea of like you want to fucking imbue people to like we want to aspire to this great thing, right? Let's aspire to be this. But how people read that is like I'm gonna be that now. Now I'm that thing. I'm the Ubermensch. Now I can fucking justify to do anything I want because I'm the Ubermensch.
Yeah.
I am the highest power. I am the highest good. It's like, uh-oh.
Well, that's when we get to the sinister side of human nature, isn't it?
Yeah, they always twist everything around, don't they?
Nietzsche, many people from anarchists to Nazis have taken up this question and submitted their own answers. Subscribe to Philosophy Tube for more.
That's pretty much where we're still at. I don't think we've moved much past Nietzsche's, where Nietzsche brings us.
Our AI overlords are coming, TJ.
I really don't know that there is much more to explore. I think Nietzsche, like, pretty much laid out the reality for human life as, you know, there is no inherent moral meaning. We see that reflected in history. I mean, there have been complete and utter moral flip-flops multiple times over the course of recorded history, let alone unrecorded history. And then, you know, I think you see like the whole idea of like a human life being some special purpose-filled thing is just defeated by just watching the news. You know what I mean? You just like watch the news, read about how people die, and
looking at the naturalized world too. I mean, looking how other animals live their lives. Like they have short, brutal lives. Like, I'm a little baby gazelle. I was just born. I'm a fucking lion. Let me rip you apart.
right.
You know, it's like
I love that was the fucking greatest story of all time, dude. I love it.
Well, it's just like,
it's true. It happens a million times, but like,
yeah. And then for people to go, life is special. It's like,
it's sacred.
no, it's not. It's like it a lot of times it's short and brutal and without much meaning.
I really just think that human beings have an overdeveloped brain, and I think that the whole Ubermensch idea is an example of that. It's like, well, we can't just be mired in meaninglessness. There's got to be a way to turn into Superman and rise above all of this. And it's like, no, we're pretty much the same as the little baby gazelle getting torn apart by the lion.
Oh yeah.
There's no becoming an Uber gazelle. You know what I mean? That baby gazelle.
Are you really gonna? Let me tell you something.
He gets like a steel armor forms around it. I am the Uber gazelle. Flies off into the sky in outer space.
What's that? Do I hear the trotting? Do I hear hoofbeats in the distance? Oh, could it be?
Is that the beautiful flowing beard of Daniel Dennett? Oh God,
the Four Horsemen. They aren't bringing the apocalypse. They're explaining why it's not coming.
Good tagline, dude.
Yeah, the Four Horsemen.
Come to our talk. Give us money. We'll explain to you why religion is bullshit. Take my money. Take my money. Take my money.
You know, I really feel like atheists back in the 2006, 2007 YouTube days, I really feel like if I think about them as personalities, each one of us kind of chose one of these dudes, minus Daniel Dennett. Usually, maybe there was a couple of Dennett types.
Yeah, we didn't know about them because they had no subscribers, probably.
But
Daniel Dennett is where it's at.
So many of the arguments and turns of phrase that we used, even if we kind of like made them our own or recontextualized or whatever, came out of one of these mouths. And a lot of the personality types too, for how people delivered the message, came from these guys as well.
Is Dan Dennett still alive? I believe he is. I feel like I would have heard if he died.
Maybe not, though.
I don't know. Daniel Dennett was basically like, we want it to be called the Four Horsemen, so we need a fourth. And there wasn't really anyone else on the fucking league of the first three, so they're just like Daniel Dennett, I guess.
Yeah, he's alive. He's 80 years old.
He's fine. I mean, whatever. I guess he probably was a smart dude. I don't really remember, honestly. Dawkins, of course. I mean, whatever you might think about him today and whatever positions he's taken, blah, blah, blah. He was a preeminent fucking figure in biology. Probably the most influential scientific thinker fucking of the 20th century. I mean, if we're really being honest. I mean, maybe Einstein, but he's probably the most influential of the late 20th. I mean, just like major strides in biology, Probably the fucking biggest fucking leaps forward in biological understanding since fucking Darwin there, if you're going to look at any single person.
Also with his invention of the word meme, like just kind of like a modern philosopher.
It kind of sucks that became something else because it is useful to explain a phenomenon, but...
that was actually written about extensively in the Howard Bloom's Lucifer Principle, too.
That's true.
Like the meme and the global brain and stuff. Like, that's actually where I first heard the term meme. I didn't even think anything of it back then because that was before like it was big on the internet, and then it just took on a whole different sort of.
Now
life.
meme is just like joke that don't make sense to anyone but in group. Joke funny. Like, all right, cool. But yeah, Dawkins, he was great in like debates and shit. He was kind of like, he wasn't like super fucking rude or anything, but he was just like kind of smugly just like plowed forward no matter what anyone else said.
Yeah, that like posh British dismissiveness. You know what I mean?
Like,
it's not rude.
Yeah.
It's not rude. It's just like horribly, horribly disappointed.
Yeah. And that's kind of like a powerful thing, I mean, like that sort of like haughty, like I am just like so far above what you're saying right now, blah, 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 blah.
Well, the God Delusion, I mean, that was a huge book at the time.
And then Harris, Harris had some good moments here and there. I mean, like he had some good rhetoric down. He kind of felt a little bit more like a self-help guru in some ways to me. Like,
yeah,
I feel like as far as like what he actually said in his books, he sort of made like he marketed them as being a bigger deal than they really were. You know what I mean? Like, I have a book. Like he kind of marketed that like the fucking moral landscape, like, oh man, this is the book that's gonna prove objective morality or something. And then
honestly,
you look at the actual book and basically the premise is just like an objective moral code could possibly exist. It's like, what? Yeah. That's not, you fucking sold this as like being way bigger than what you delivered on.
Harris is like Jordan Peterson, but with a point.
Yeah,
like that's how I feel at times. Because like Sam Harris takes so fucking long. I
just feel like he's Jordan Peterson. If Jordan Peterson didn't have like severe emotional problems, I don't know. Maybe
when he started when Harris started dabbling in that objective morality thing, and I was just like, man, I see where you're going. I see what you're trying to do here, but nothing but ruin lies in that fucking
It was
direction,
just another attempt at the Overman shit. Like, you know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to create the Overmensch. It's like, nope, stop. Nope, wrong. Because I'm totally with you, Paul. It's like, no, the answer is just to accept the nihilism. All this idea, like, we're going to be crushed by the nihilism. No, that's where we actually belong. Let's go to the nihilism and be there, okay?
Right. We can operate from there with those principles firmly in mind. Make your own kind of meaning. Don't try to send beyond your station because you can't. And you'll be happier for it.
You're a monkey on a rock. That's it. Okay? Have fun with it. Enjoy your time here. You have the capacity to enjoy things and feel pleasure and pain and all that. So do what you got to do.
I am a special monkey.
Monkey on a rock.
No, I'm a special monkey on rock.
Even if you are a special monkey, you're going to find
monkey rock.
So maybe if nihilism's wrong and you live your, I'm a nihilist, blah, 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 and then at the end of your life, wow, it turns out there is some kind of thing, then yay, good for that. But, there probably ain't, so just leave it alone. Don't fucking, just take it for granted because it's not there.
We know for a fact, or we know for sure you have this life. Everything else is dubious. In my opinion, like, what? You're making a big bet, and this next life is going to be great. Who said there's going to be a next life?
And then Hitchens, of course, is just like, that dude was just like...
He could pick you apart with words that you will never understand.
You'd have to, it's like you'd have to go back and like you would know you were destroyed, but then you'd have to go back and like watch the play-by-play and dissect it to even figure out what the fuck happened to you. He just had an encyclopedic memory. There was almost no premise there was no premise you could sneak by him. Like he was just like the ultimate rhetorician. His command of fucking language and ideas and arguments was just like unparalleled. No one could compete against him.
I never saw him once caught flat-footed by an argument. Not
Not
once.
one
Not
time.
once.
Never.
And like when I mean flat-footed, I mean like even having to take like a quick pause to orient yourself and think about what you're about to say. He immediately, it's like he'd heard it all. Even if he hadn't heard it before, he'd already deconstructed it in his mind. And he was able to just summon that at will immediately and devastatingly to pretty much any opponent. And he had some beliefs. You know, he's kind of a neocon.
Right. Especially
when
towards
he
the end of
dipped-
his life.
Yeah, when he dipped his foot into the politics of the end of his life, which were, you know, really typified by the war on terror, he he found himself in
Strange bed.
Yeah, he had with some strange bedfellows. He was, you know, like kind of backing up Donald Rumsfeld and George W.
Yeah, and they
Bush
brought him on
and-
Fox News a bunch of time to be like the leftist that supports the Bush administration.
I mean, he basically was saying shit like, fight them over there. Don't
Yeah.
fight them here. Like, I've been over there. I know what it's like. We have to do this. Which was
Right.
just, it was kind of strange.
So there
from
was like
Richard.
definitely a lot of fucking stances like that where you're like, I don't really agree with that. But, you know, like if you ever wanted to hear an eloquent case for the war in Iraq, you could luckily listen to him make it.
a cogent case. Well, I mean, I think a lot of those he was because the Balkanization stuff that he had covered as a journalist, I think played a large role, like seeing the human rights violations and massacres and stuff.
Well,
I think.
there was that, and then there was just a lot of his baseline distaste for religion in general, particularly Islam, woven into it too.
Yeah.
And I could hear that in his arguments. His arguments were less about us as a stabilizing force and more about us as a de-Islamifying force. You know what I mean? Like a westernizing influence on that area. And that's, in my opinion, that's just fucking dangerous shit. But thankfully he's dead because I wouldn't want to debate that with him.
It's like, thankfully we can now talk shit about that position without worrying like, he's coming. Because, you did not want to get in a fight with that guy. Even if if I was like, all right, TJ, you have to go into a debate now. It's like, all right, no problem. What's the debate? We're debating whether or not the sky is blue or plaid. Oh, what side am I on? You're debating that the sky is blue. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, your opponent, Christopher Hitchens, will be debating that it's plaid. It's like, fuck. I'm
No,
gonna
the
lose
sky
this debate.
is plaid.
I'm gonna
You're right.
you know what? I fucking immediately changed my fucking position, please. Mea culpa. It's plaid as fuck. Can I go? Can I go now? Like, he was just on that level. I mean, it was like supernatural. Like, he fucking could talk like a fucking character in a movie that someone slavishly like sat, hunched over a
he was
keyboard
better.
to fucking
He was
create,
better. His shit didn't sound like movie dialogue though, so he was even better than that. He was like,
it sounded like dialogue from a really fucking top-notch movie.
It would have been an over-the-top great film. He was able to write that kind of dialogue on the fly and espouse it in a room filled with 2,000 people under circumstances that would crush some other people just mentally.
Oh, God,
and
yeah.
it was and he would do it while like smoking a cigar and being half drunk.
He was always drunk too. That's another thing. Is like,
Black dude was Hitchens' preferred drink.
His IQ must have been like fucking 650 or something. It's fucking crazy, motherfucker. I remember
Off the fucking charts.
you
dude.
saw that. I saw him. There was like a thing where he was like smoking a cigarette in a restaurant where the smoking wasn't even allowed, and the waiters and stuff were coming over to him, but like he just wouldn't stop, and like he just argued with them. He couldn't even his powers of argument were so good that he could basically like debate you out of like the policy of your fucking establishment. It's just like
he would ignore them. Like places that like told him he couldn't smoke, he would just ignore them straight up. He wouldn't even care.
And it's like, you don't even exist to me, motherfucker. Get out of here. So let's talk a little bit about some atheist persecution. The persecution of atheists through time.
Oh.
So throughout history, atheists have been persecuted, thought of as less than by everyone else, from the common man to the great thinkers. So Thomas Aquinas taught that atheists are threatening, the order of society, basically, destroying the moral fabric, all that kind of shit. Thomas More said that religious tolerance should not be extended to atheists and that they deserve persecution for not believing in a deity or an immortal soul. John Locke argued that an atheist should not be granted full citizenship rights. You know, so there was definitely like a strong contingent of people who were like very much like, we need to make sure atheism never gets a foothold in society. We need to make, you know, their lot in life as unappealing as possible to dissuade people from ever, adopting these viewpoints. You know, and it's you know, the fact that they have to resort to these kind of tactics just shows how weak the argumentation was, right? Because you know. They know they can't actually defeat what atheists are saying. So it's like, well, just kill them or at least make their lives hell. So during the Inquisition, a time when the Catholic Church killed or tortured dissidents, atheists were heavily targeted. Notable examples include this guy right here. This is atheist philosopher Lucilio Vanini, a.k.a. Giulio Cesare. He was found guilty by the Catholic Church of atheism and blasphemy and was sentenced to death. His tongue was cut out. He was strangled, and then he was burned alive. Catholic Church doesn't talk about that one too much anymore, huh? Really weird.
Yeah, they made some mistakes, TJ. A few mistakes.
It's amazing that we allow this institution to continue on to this day, by the way. Kazimierz, I'm going to fuck this dude's name up. Kazimierz Lysenczynski was a Polish philosopher and nobleman that was sentenced to death in 1689 for denying the existence of God and having blasphemed against the Virgin Mary and the saints. His tongue was ripped out and of his head, and he was beheaded. So good for him. And this guy with the really cool forked beard, which mine naturally wants to do that, but I try to keep it all as one. But maybe I should just embrace the fork. I don't know. Seems like it worked for this guy. Well, no, not. I guess not, because he died. He died horribly.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, let me emulate this.
That surely means this is the way to do it. Etienne Dole. Once again, any foreign name, I can almost promise you I'm butchering pronunciation. Was a French scholar who was vocally outspoken against the Inquisition. Not wise to do. He wasn't even considered an atheist, but an anti-Trinitarian, so he didn't believe in the Holy Trinity. However, for his crime of speaking against the church and being supportive of atheists, he was himself branded an atheist, and he was executed on his 37th birthday, August 3rd, 1546. So
nice reward. Yeah. Like, maybe we shouldn't persecute these atheists so hardcore. You must be an atheist as well. Die!
I didn't realize we were going to talk about the death of my uncle on tonight's show.
I'm sorry, Paul. I probably should have trigger warned you. If I wasn't so tired, I definitely would have. Yeah. It honestly just completely slipped my mind. This research for this episode was done a while ago. And
TJ's fucking exhausted, Paul.
I tried to get through it as quick as possible to make sure you didn't hurt your feelings, but you know, poor guy. These red countries right here are the countries where atheism or apostasy is punishable by death. So in other Islamic countries, atheists can face withdrawal of legal status, corporal punishment, or re-education, all of which sound very appealing, right? Whenever, sometimes I will, even to this day, get letters from people to be like, I am from Saudi Arabia and I am an atheist. I'm like, oof. Don't be careful.
Sorry.
Be fucking careful. Don't even, you might want to be careful even engaging with my social media. You know what I mean? Like, super careful. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, there's tons of atheists in Saudi Arabia that just get persecuted, rounded up, and executed just for having anything different than the state.
Even if you avoid execution, you know, losing your legal status, getting beaten.
Yeah, being whipped, having your family punished for your beliefs.
Re-educated, you know.
Oh, yeah, right.
But despite all this, we're actually, you know, not, atheists are not persecuted. Jordan Peterson will explain why we're not.
Thoughts? I think it's a juvenile publicity.
This is a really, really early, somehow like the earlier you go, the worse he even looks.
Yeah, he looks more and more like a strung out street addict the farther back you go.
Oh, hey guys, do you have a hit?
Like, this looks like a dude that would, like, you'd go to cop heroin from.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. 1,000%.
TJ, would you like some smack, TJ?
Like, all these dudes that cannot put their lives together, they're literally looking at this guy like, yeah, this is my fucking guru. Like,
dude,
what?
my smack dealer, he's got it all figured out.
He's got this.
Pulled
He
off
knows
by
the
people
real
who
score,
really
bro.
neither know about nor care about the actual
Too
issue.
much.
Get off the fence and tell me what you really think. Really, no redeeming features whatsoever? You've heard Justin say it's actually kind of provoked a bit of discussion?
Well, I don't really regard atheists as an oppressed group personally. I don't think there's any real historical evidence for that, especially in North America and Europe, and at least recently. And I think the debate is going fine without this sort of stuff.
I was going to say, you better qualify that one.
Media manipulation ploy. It's a good one.
You better qualify that one, JBP. I don't see any history of atheists being persecuted. Not recently. Not this week.
Yeah, just like laws in the United States saying atheists can't hold office. Just stuff like that. The fact that for years, we've basically been, anyone who's an atheist has been told we live in a Judeo-Christian nation, and if they don't like it, they should just leave. They should simply leave. The laws in this country being pushed are mainly by, especially the ones that are morally or politically regressive, in the opinion I think most secular people, are pushed under the auspices of religion. And even if they're not directly, it's not religion directly, if the source of it is almost always religion. So to say that is true, to me, is just ridiculous. It's pushed onto everyone in the Western world, in European world.
I'm not going to try and claim I feel horribly oppressed by this, but this idea that, like, when I worked for the school district, everybody I worked for was religious. There was an implicit religiosity in my department. And if I didn't tell anybody I was a fucking atheist. Like, nobody knew, because if had I said that, I would have been fucking looked at differently and treated differently by the fucking group of people I had to work with every day. So, and I know that other people go through that same fucking shit every day. So this idea that just being atheist doesn't expose you to any kind of fucking persecution is ridiculous.
In there, if I may. You say the discussion's going fine, but I think you're alluding to the Theist Club discussion. You see in the pages of our national papers that religious organizations are frequently invited to discuss issues of ethics, issues of the interplay between science and faith, issues of the reasonable accommodations of religion. You rarely see an atheist or a proclaimed secular humanist, from an organization or not, actually being invited to participate until relatively recently. So when you say that our country is becoming more pluralistic,
I didn't say that.
Well, you're saying that we're including more people in the discussion. I think you're ignoring the fact that atheists are not part of that discussion.
Look,
quite recently.
You've seen Dawkins, you've seen Hitchens, you've seen all these guys that write these books on atheism get massive amounts of media play. So it's not like they're excluded. If anything, they're dominant. So I don't buy that.
3 years ago, that's correct.
What's that?
Richard Dawkins' book came out about 3 to 4 years ago.
Yeah, so and it's got a perfectly fine reception. Mm-hmm. I mean, and there's no evidence that he's being oppressed, even though maybe he should be.
What?
Yeah. What? Maybe
he should be. All right. Yeah. You really, that was a good own moment, I guess. Fucking yeah. Fuck your freedom to say shit, bitch.
He has a real selective memory about the press tour that Richard Dawkins did when he released The God Delusion. I remember that shit, and this idea that he was just embraced with open arms by every fucking
everybody
media
loved him, and that just proves there's no oppression.
Dude, they brought him on to run the same stupid religious argument by him a million times and paint him out to be some kind of crazy guy.
Yeah, I don't remember the media portrayal of that being like that at all. Maybe a few publications were like that. Most of the stuff I remember seeing was just very negative and just oh, you're just trying to shove this down kids' throats, aren't you?
Maybe what about parents who, don't want their kids reading this sort of thing? What would you say to them? It's like fucking nothing. Grow up. How about that?
Have you read the Bible lately? That's what I would say to them. Are you fucking kidding me? That book is filled with so much reprehensible shit that if you're going to complain about the God Delusion is a far more sanitized version of reality than the fucking goddamn Bible would ever be.
So, let's talk about some discrimination of atheists in the United States. Despite most of the founding fathers just not really jiving with organized religion. Some did. A lot of them didn't. The United States has always, though, had a pretty large Christian influence. Numerous reputable polls by Gallup, Pew, etc., have shown that hostility towards atheists is greater than any other minority group in the United States. So here's the percent with a mostly or very unfavorable view of certain groups. Atheists, 50%. Muslims, 31%. Evangelical Christians, 17%. Catholics, 14. Hispanics, 13. Asians, 12. Jews, 10. Blacks, 8. Percent unwilling to vote for a well-qualified candidate of their party who belong to a certain group. Atheists, 50%. It basically tracks along basically the same lines, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, it just shows, like, I don't know what year this particular poll was from, but I believe it was from like the early 2000s. I don't
have much of an occasion to like say, hey, I'm an atheist, but every fucking, it happens. Like, people ask you, and every fucking time I say I'm an atheist, I get this look like I just like started screaming the word cunt at the top of my lungs or whatever the fuck. The people that like, they get this look of fear on their face, and it's just like, what? So there's definitely something to this. Like, there's definitely something to this idea that people they don't trust people who don't also engage in their little delusional fantasy stuff.
Oh, by no means. I mean, I think that's a commonality, though. I mean, a lot of it can be broken out with, like, you belong to a different racial group, you belong to a different religious group. It's like people want these commonalities to know that, like, okay, you're going to be the same as me. If you're in political power or if you have actual authority over me, you're going to feel the same way I do. And if you don't, then it's like, well, what other radical ideas might you have to upend the system or change things that I might perceive might not be my benefit? Whereas, any demagogue can just go and tell you whatever you want to hear and just say, oh, yeah, I'm religious. Oh, yeah, I believe whatever you believe. Yep, now go ahead and give me all the power. Thanks. Like, it's just naivety at best.
Well, I think because of these numbers being the way that they are, a lot of people that are in positions of power are atheists that have just done exactly what you just said. Just kind of like, I'll go along to get along on this one.
Yeah.
Which is, in and of itself, like, proof that atheists are maligned in this country.
Yeah, I mean, like, when a group of people feel they need to, like, oh, I'm not going to even put forth anything about that, it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, you see here, there's not even no one even identifies as an atheist, like even a percentage of the population in this chart. Now, the Zoomers and the Millennials have kind of changed things. Generations have been getting more and more atheistic. I think the Zoomers are like insanely atheistic. I don't know if it's going to hold. Maybe they'll find religion later on in their fucking cycle. But as of now, most secular generations, so these kind of stigmas might be approaching an end, but who knows? This country kind of like lurches backwards every time you think it might be inching forward.
I'm seeing an article here that says atheism doubles amongst Generation Z.
Yeah.
Nice.
So hopefully that holds. I don't know. Of course, It says more than, I don't mean to derail it, but more than 1/3 of Gen Z, 37%, believes it's not possible to know for sure if God is real, compared to 32% of all adults.
Yeah, well, that's agnosticism right there. That's just, but that's good, though. It's better than religion, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of it just says this is probably the least, at least overtly, at least religious or non-religious generation we've ever seen.
Here are some of the reasons given for not liking atheists. Lack moral values. Necessary to believe in God to hold anything valuable or sacred. Then how come there are so many people who are murderers, rapists, and etc. who are devoutly religious?
We look at states and places in the world that are super religious, and they're some of the most violent places in the world.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty strong violence between religiosity and violent crime.
Yeah, correlation, you mean?
Atheists are disproportionately represented in the prison population, and the inverse. Like, there's less atheists in prison than there is in, there's less atheists in prison than there is in the general population. So, yeah, obviously there's, like, bad people of every fucking group or whatever the fuck, or social transgressors, but, like, Yeah, I mean, like, it's no more common among atheists than it is among Christians. Actually, it's less. The Constitution allows freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. That's what, a lot of people believe.
I do wish, man.
It says freedom of, not freedom from. Gotcha.
The Constitution would be way better if it was freedom from religion. Like, I would love that. I have a constitutional right not to be bothered by your religious bullshit.
So what else they believe? Atheists, yeah. Nazis like Hitler and communists like Mao are atheists. Therefore, atheists are evil. Yeah, that was a pretty common one to get back in the day. Everybody talks about the rind,
Right.
Everyone fucking gets hung up on the rind of Sao de Dong.
What about Stalin, TJ, and Pol Pot, and all them godless communists, TJ? How you explain that? Huh?
I think they're just brilliant. They're wonderful.
Yeah, that's
people.
what I thought, TJ. Checkmate, atheist. You can't explain that. Oh, atheists ain't as bad. Atheists don't commit crimes.
What about the crimes of Hitler, though?
What about that atheist guy shot his neighbors, TJ?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that story?
Hitler was a sacred atheist.
Yep, and Hitler was 100% atheist. Tell you
He's
what,
sacred atheist.
that wasn't even a secret.
So Hitler publicly was actually religious, used religion to control the masses. Even if he was privately an atheist, he used religion to control people. It was pretty fucking well known that Gott mit uns, fucking God with us, was on the fucking German belt buckles of some of the soldiers working at fucking Auschwitz and other concentration camps. So.
All over their propaganda, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
religion
like,
is all over
propaganda. Type it in. Just type in Nazis, Gott. It's G-O-T-T, mit, I think. I think there's two T's in that too, but I could be wrong.
Well, they used it against when they fought against the Soviet Union in communism. It was that they're a bunch of godless fucks.
Godless. It's just a way of like making. It's just a way of like they're villains. You might as well just say they're vampires at that point.
Yeah,
they're vampires.
You go back a little farther and you find tons and tons of Christian rulers ordering fucking genocide.
Like Ivan the Terrible and shit. Yeah. Overwhelming evidence shows that Jesus is coming back soon, and atheists are spreading lies about God that will lead more people to hell. So basically, like, Jesus is coming back. You guys are leading people astray. You guys believe in the Bible, right? I mean, like, the Bible pretty much says that, like, God is ultimately going to choose who goes to heaven and hell. Like, even though we supposedly have free will, God still decides. So God can save whoever he wants and not save whoever he wants.
Not to mention,
I don't know what's all this whining and bitching about this shit.
All knowing, all powerful, but mean atheist says, like, God is a lie. It's like religion defeated? Question mark?
How
does that work?
I mean, like, let's just fucking remember that all God would have to do if he gave a shit about this is just like, I mean, just put the knowledge of himself in every fucking human being's brain for like instinctively, like, there he is. Oh shit. Yeah, I see it. I see what you mean.
What about the paradox that, like, none of them would hear, like, most of them at the very least, would never even hear our opinions on this if they didn't feel the need to proselytize theirs in our face? You know what I mean?
That's true. Because, like, we're not like, there'd be no incentive for us to go around fucking be like, there is no God.
I mean, it happens. I'm not saying it never happens. Sometimes there's, like, protests and demonstrations against religion or whatever the fuck. But for the most part, it's Christians that are proselytizing, and most Christians that run across an atheist and have a conversation with them, they're probably going to broach the subject of religion before the atheist does. I don't go around asking people like, so you Christian, you Muslim, you Jew?
Yeah, because
I don't care.
Yeah,
right.
Religious
so
belief? Oh, I'm an atheist.
I've never had a conversation with a religious person where I started it. You know what I mean? Like, even back in the atheist days, if you look at my fucking shit, it was always like responses to claims that people had made, calling out atheists or asking atheists to prove this or prove that. You know what I mean? If they just keep their fucking mouths shut about their religion, they wouldn't even know we were atheists.
That's true. Because, like, it's pretty much you know, I mean, at least for you and me, Paul, like, it's always been pretty much like responsive to what they've done and said, right?
It has to be, because our position wouldn't even need to be argued if it wasn't in response to somebody asserting the opposite. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, what need does an atheist have to discuss religion? I mean, really, to be honest with you.
0.0, none point none.
Which is a point that Christians bring up. If you don't like it, why? It's like because you guys are trying to push this into every and all facets of society.
yeah,
That's why.
Keep it the fuck out of my face. Keep your religious displays on private property and keep your fucking singing in church. And you won't ever hear from me. Trust me. I don't give a fuck what you believe.
Yeah, none of us care. Literally none of us care, even one iota. Like, as long as you keep it to your fucking self.
Yeah,
I don't
as
care
soon
if
as you try and start legislating it,
Yeah,
try
like-
and start fucking pushing it into public spaces, I literally couldn't care less what you're doing. Put a bowl of macaroni on your head and dance around and chant to the sky god. I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah, it's great. We love it. In fact, I would find that very entertaining if you were to do that. But, yeah, I hate you guys, man. You guys, because you don't do that. Just leave us. Just shut up about it. I get it. You know, you got this thing you're gonna do. You're gonna go to a magic land after you die. Okay. If you want my opinion on that, that's stupid. But if you just leave me alone about it, you can have it. I don't really give a shit, because why does it matter to me? You know? But when you start being like, my magical sky daddy says that we gotta do this in this public sphere, it's like, what? No. He doesn't get a say. I don't believe in him. You know, like, the invisible man says, no. No, he doesn't. He didn't say shit. If you want to believe he said shit, you live by it. But don't fucking force me to live by it.
But it's my job to help you, TJ. You're gonna go
help.
burn in the fires of hell.
It's not help. I'm just gonna burn in the fires of hell and be miserable while I'm alive. So at least give me my earthly pleasure, because you know
A lot of people do say that. Like that's something that I've definitely heard before. It's just like knowing people who are atheists and just their parents being like, "So what's going to happen to me? Like, what do you think's going to happen? Am I going to go to hell?" And the parents are like, "Yeah, like I love you still, but you're going to be going to hell, TJ."
So here's some outrageous facts about atheists in America. In the United States, the constitutions of 8 states prohibit atheists from holding public office, including Mississippi, Maryland, Arkansas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Tennessee, and Pennsylvania.
All
Now,
good states to me.
These probably would not pass constitutional muster, although I don't know with the conservative court maybe. Courts are statistically more likely to give custody of a child to a religious parent. Some courts have even forced atheist parents to bring their children to church and Sunday school while in their custody. So basically, like you're an atheist, but you're not allowed to raise your kids the way you want, like everyone else is. You have to go. You have to make sure that they get some indoctrination time in. You know,
That's insane.
which seems like a violation of the First Amendment to me. But what do I fucking know? I'm no scholar. Children under the age of 18 legally have no right to disobey their parents by not attending church or performing religious rituals with them.
Damn right.
Unless the child is emancipated. So basically, like, your parents can literally force you to participate in their religion until you're 18 years old. Openly atheist children cannot participate in Boy Scouts, and adult Scout leaders must be religious. So that's their protection, I guess.
See, we're free to discriminate because of religion.
Yes. Right.
you gotta understand. Most times in this country, you can't discriminate legally, but if it's for religion, you can do whatever the hell you want.
But, you know, once again, no evidence that this group is being discriminated against in any way, shape, or form. Heaven, hell, and crime, is there a correlation? Despite the United States...
So you can't, boo-hoo. So you can't serve in government in 8 states, boo-hoo. Show me some evidence of real oppression.
Okay.
So you can't tell your friends and your family and your bosses that you're an atheist? Boo-hoo.
They said, well, Jordan, if they said if you're an atheist, then you're not allowed to misgender trans people.
Whoa.
So,
Did they?
Yeah. So it's pretty bad oppression, right?
They are oppressed.
Finally, we made progress. Heaven, hell, and crime rates, is there a correlation? Short answer, no. basically, the religious places are disproportionately criminal. I don't think it has to do directly with religion. I think that it's like root causes of like poverty. Poor people are more. I mean,
poverty and religion have a correlation as well.
For sure, because a lot of times poor people are basically given the line that like, oh, give a huge, gigantic portion of your income to the church, and that's going to be how you get luck in life, and that's how you're gonna. That's going to be the things that's going to bring you prosperity is giving your money to the
prosperity
church.
Gospel or doctrine, yeah.
Right.
That's really big.
So a lot of these churches have tithes and shit where you're expected to give like the first portion of your income before anything else to the church, to make sure the church gets its cut before any other fucking bill collector or anything like that. So these are basically like, and poor people are particularly susceptible because, they tend to be particularly gullible because they're uneducated and, pretty much sucks balls. So yeah, but that also kind of is behavior that leads to higher rates of criminality as well. Let's see, where am I right here? Okay. Despite the United States, religious history, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Lack of religion in the United States has seen an uprising in recent years. We talked about it a little earlier. 2019 study shows that both Protestantism and Catholicism are experiencing losses of population share. Currently, 43% of U.S. adults identify with Protestantism, down from 51% in 2009. 1 in 5 adults, 20%, are Catholic, down from 23% in 2009. Each generation seems to be less and less religious, with millennials making up more than 1/3 of self-described atheists in the United States. Reasons include it is now more socially acceptable to be an atheist. Religion, especially Christianity, is intertwined with conservative politics, racism, sexism, slavery, homophobia, etc., and people want to distance themselves from it. Delays in / not getting married, having kids, and settling down has led to less commitment to religious institutions. And it's kind of being phased out as a result of that. The growth in the internet and social media is also leading more people to find out that, there's actually some pretty good arguments against this whole religion thing. Like, wait a minute. Doesn't actually make sense, do it?
Wait a second here.
Wait a gosh darn
second.
second.
That's true. If you're stuck in a community where you don't really hear anything but one version of events, it's like, this is how it is. You go, oh, okay, well, I guess it's how it is. But, the exposure through, I guess one of the good sides of living in the information age and social media is like you get a lot of different points of view. And that can obviously turn people away when it's like, well, this is actually nonsensical and here's why. I mean, you're part of that, TJ. I mean, you've got about 1 million stories from people going, I used to be a Christian and now I'm no longer a Christian.
And I was just like, when I started off doing shit, I was just like trying to vent and stuff. But I have heard a lot of people come to me and, most people I find will not say that I necessarily made the arguments that resonated with them. Although sometimes I hear that. I don't think my arguments were bad, but there's definitely people who are better at the more like logical deconstructivist side of things. But a lot of people said that they just like watched my videos because they were more emotionally cathartic, because they had more of the attitude that a lot of atheists wanted to have, because they felt so like silenced and shut up by society that they just like loved that I was a boisterous, loudmouth motherfucker that was like going to say the shit that, other people were like not saying. We're afraid to fucking face the backlash of saying, I guess. And, sort of normalizing, if you can call anything I do normalizing that sort of like attitude towards religious shit. And I mean, I feel like, I mean, obviously Hitchens did that too on like a way more grandiloquent scale, but yeah, I don't know. I had a pretty crude little YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. Preachers talking shit. Yes, this is I have a few videos here we can kind of react to if you guys want. I don't know how many we got. I have a bunch more than we'll probably need. So let me see if what's the best ones here. This guy is basically just going to say it's impossible to be an atheist, and I guess it's only 1 minute and 40 seconds. So listen to this.
There is no atheist.
Really? That's
wow.
it.
Well, I'm convinced.
All right, you got me. You got us.
The show's over.
This is like,
thank you guys for tuning in.
This is a variation on
TJ.
like, you don't believe in God? Well, guess what? He believes in you.
Shit. Right? I hate that. That's like the worst thing in the fucking movie, dude. It's like, There's no God. Let me tell you something, son. You might not believe in him, but he believes in you. Oh my God. You're right. I've been so angry at you, God. Come on, I'll hug you. I love you. I'm going to kiss you.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what he says.
It is scientifically impossible to be an atheist. And I can prove it to you. And even if you might have a different opinion, you probably will still have no answer for this.
All right.
It really ought to be illegal. I'm starting to get on board with TJ's fact check administration.
I told you.
It really ought to be fucking illegal for people to say things like it's scientifically impossible and then list a scientific possibility. You know what I mean? Like, that's just an outright lie. It's just a fucking lie. All right, unless he can prove it. Maybe he can prove it scientifically.
All right. Let us now hear the proof.
I'm going to use science, okay?
Science.
The word science means knowledge. That's what it means.
All right.
The definition of science, I actually wrote it down from Webster's dictionary, is knowledge about or study of the natural world based on facts learned through experiments and observation. So, in other words, the only way, if it's science, you have done a study and you have based your knowledge on facts and experiments, okay? So,
but atheism it doesn't deal with science. It's like it's a position of belief, or in this case, disbelief. That's it. Like you can't put it to the same rigors as a scientific problem, because what you're asking us to test is unfalsifiable. It's immaterial. Like it's I'll dust this old one off.
Can't prove a negative, right?
I have an invisible unicorn in my fucking garage. Well, can I see it? No, it's invisible. Can I touch it? No, because it's ethereal. Well, how do you know it's there? I just do.
This episode is kind of for dusting off this old shit, just to remind people that this is still nonsense. Because I feel like some of us have kind of but it seems like it continues to be a fucking factor in our lives. So I feel like every now and again we got to just be like, all right, let's go over once again why religion is bullshit.
It's shifting the burden of proof, because atheists are not claiming there is no God. Maybe some are, but atheists are simply just saying, I have never seen evidence, it's never been shown or demonstrated to me that there is a God or gods or whatever.
It's a Chinese finger trap of an argument, because what Christians will do is they'll say oh yeah, well ain't no God, then how did that tree over there get there? And then you start talking science to them, you start talking evolution and natural selection, and then they want to double back and do this argument on you. Oh yeah? Well, if you can prove all that with testing and stuff, why don't you disprove God? And it's just because you can't it's an unfalsified, where's God? Give me a little hunk of God that I can test.
Yeah, let's test this. It tested positive for God. It's him. Yeah.
Well, tell us about the goalpost too. Well, we've searched the entire universe. We haven't seen God. He's from without the universe. Okay, well, we can't go there. Well, there you go. There's always going to be a something further they can do.
There he is.
No God. That is what the word atheist means. Now, let me just say, they've changed the definition now.
No,
they've changed it.
What?
No, they haven't.
What do they do?
Remember the Council of Atheists meeting, guys, where he changed the definition of atheist?
Guys, we're on the ropes.
He just said
definition right quick.
He just said that atheism means there is no God, and it means a lack of belief in any gods. That's it.
Because they realize that it's impossible to be an atheist. Again, look at the original word, atheism or theo comes from the Greek word God. A is an antonym, which means opposite or not or no. The word literally means no God. No God.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. A semantics argument based on shoddy etymology that's not even accurate. Cool.
Well, not only that, but you can fucking flip that right back around and ask them for the proof. Theist means a God. It means God exists. So Prove it. You know, give me a scientific experiment that shows me that God exists. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Look at your
Double
Bible.
speak.
Look at your Bible, Paul. That's all you got to do.
Why does every fucking old Christian preacher look like my dad too? They all got my dad's haircut and the fucking button down, recently retired look, you know? Get this idiot. Get this fucking idiot off the screen.
Know. I ain't touching that one.
Next. We all know this.
God.
We all know this one.
This is super.
Learned that when you really look at the evidence, the truth is it takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to believe in God. You've really
Yeah.
It doesn't take any faith at all.
Yeah, no, it does. When you really look at the evidence, Scotty, it takes more faith to be an atheist.
What evidence?
got to ignore the facts. It's
Yeah.
funny how we equate the word atheism with
What
intellectual.
facts?
The fact
this
check
is like-
administration has deemed these facts to be
This reeks of insecurity too. Don't you think so? It's like, no, they think they're smarty pants. They're so smart.
Oh, we're getting to the banana part, guys. Don't jump the gun on the banana thing. Don't jump the fucking gun,
it has
chat.
to build up.
No.
It
Let
has
it build. Let the tension build.
When it's the exact opposite. That's right. Kirk, I have an intellectually stimulating theory. It's my theory of where the soda can may have come from. Billions of years ago, there was a big bang in space. Nobody knows what caused the big bang. It just happened. And from this bang issued this huge rock. On top of the rock was found a sweet, brown, bubbly substance. And over millions of years, aluminum crept
What is
up the
this
side.
soundtrack, man? This sounds like the soundtrack to a bad Victorian novel when like the man and the woman are riding equestrian horses together through a fucking green field. What is this? Where do they find this shit, man?
I must confess a sort of unrequited love for you as well. Yeah, it's like, what is this nonsense?
Formed itself in a can, then a lid, and then a tab. And then millions of years later,
Really?
red paint, blue paint,
These are the facts?
white paint
I'm
fell from
excited.
the sky and formed itself into the words, 12 fluid ounces, do not litter. You're saying, what are you doing? You're insulting my intellect. And so I am. Because we know if the can is made, there must be
Oh,
a
it's a
maker.
Pepsi?
If it's designed,
You are
there
insulting
must
me.
be a designer. To believe the soda can happened by chance is to move into an intellectual free zone. It's to have an echo.
Hey, I shoved one of those on my ass too. Just so you know.
You got a soda can up in there?
Yeah, I've done that
Jeez,
before
man,
too.
he's got every goddamn
I know.
fucking tool.
Me and Ray Comfort, we have fucking similar tastes, and
You got to get together with this guy.
in
TJ.
atheist worst nightmares, you know.
So what do
Yeah.
you think? It's to have brain liposuction. Hold this, Kirk. Behold.
Did you drink the
atheist
soda after you
nightmare.
keistered
Now,
it?
this-
No.
You threw it away?
Yeah.
That's wasteful.
That is wasteful, man. I would have taken
I
a sip
feel
of
like
that. By the way.
I feel like you don't. There's like bacteria or something, right?
That would have been the biggest Chad maneuver though. After the scene was done, you could have like just crapped out the fucking can and cracked it and just been like, refreshing.
Yeah.
Pepsi goes down smooth every time.
Pepsi, straight from my ass into America's heart.
No matter where it's been, Pepsi always tastes good.
Yeah, E. coli. Yeah, that's true.
Study a well-made banana, you'll find on the far side there are 3 ridges. On the
Yeah.
close side, 2 ridges.
Ribbed for my pleasure.
If you get your hand ready to grip a banana, you'll find on the far side there
Yeah,
are 3 grooves. On the
does it
close
fit in
side,
the hole?
2 grooves. The banana
Yeah,
and the hand
goes
are
right in.
perfectly
Oh, there
made
you
one
go.
to the other. You'll find the maker of the banana, Almighty God, has made it with a non-slip surface. It has outward indicators of inward contents. Green, too early. Yellow, just right. Black, too late. Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll find, as with the soda can makers, they placed a tab at the top. So God has placed a tab at the top. When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face. You'll find
See, these guys know shit about bananas.
Squirts in your ass, not in your
Number one,
face.
look how the monkey opened banana.
The
They don't open it
banana
that-
is a gentleman. Ugh.
The monkey don't open the banana that way. Number 1. Number 2, are these guys just forgetting about modern agriculture and the process which humanity developed?
Yeah,
If they
they don't even
just
know about that,
fucking-
or if they do, they just kind of their audience not.
Sorry, yeah, that's intellectualism nonsense. It's a brain liposuction to talk about that.
I remember the field day that people had with this one was that he's inadvertently proving evolution because that banana right there that he's holding looks nothing like a wild banana.
Yes.
It has been agriculturally influenced to not have seeds and to be easy to peel and blah, 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 blah. Yes. You know, so like it was actually man that made that fucking banana.
Not only that, his whole point here was like, he's trying to compare, like, look at this man-made can, look at this convenient banana. Same kind of thing. It's like, wait, but those cans are completely and utterly uniform. Every can is exactly the same. If the banana was the same perfect design, then every banana would be identical, right? Yeah. But not every banana. Some bananas are hard to fucking open. Sometimes the banana takes a while to get fucking ripe. Sometimes that banana's green way too long. Sometimes it's brown way too fast. The banana is not perfect in the way the fucking soda can is. So all you've proven is that if there is a God, he's not as competent as we are. So maybe Nietzsche's right and we are the overmen. Fucking dipshit. Also, you know, banana. I put a banana in my butt. So this is
he's about to blow the
automatically funny.
This is my favorite one where he like pokes.
Well, he likes banana mouth. Oral. I like banana anal.
Find a wrapper which is biodegradable.
Seems like there's a fucking porno that could be made there.
Notice how gracefully it sits over the human hand. Notice it has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth. It's chewy, easy to digest, and it's even curved toward the face to make the whole process so much easier. Seriously, Kirk, the whole of creation testifies to the genius of God's creative hand.
Yeah, dude, I can see, I can take that logic about how it's like perfect for insertion in the mouth and stuff, and talk about dicks too. Dude, look at the cock, man. You're trying to tell me the dick isn't supposed to go into the ass, but it's the perfect shape. It's got a tip. You know what I mean? It's got shaped
God clearly. Why did God make the? I mean, why did God put a pleasure center right there? You know, like,
perfect for entry into a rounded hole.
If God never intended a dick to go into a human mouth, you know what I mean? Why didn't he make it like a spiky dick, like a cat dick or something? Why didn't he make it unpleasant to go in the mouth?
This will ensure they never suck on these because I really don't want them to.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, yeah, you know the fucking rest of the argument. How about this fucking motherfucker, huh?
Man.
Billboards stay up for...
This is just basically Pat Robertson saying that atheists should be like denied freedom of speech and shit, so that's cool.
Forever, unless somebody comes and buys the billboard. I mean, you can get a billboard to go on for several months even though you pay for a month. Those billboard companies are private. They're owned by private corporations. They can deny somebody the right to put up an offensive billboard. They don't have to. I mean, if they had two teenagers having sex, they wouldn't put that picture on because it would be repugnant to the people. They can also tell those.
That's because there's obscenity laws and laws against depictions of teenagers having sex. There's no law against putting some words on a billboard.
What the fuck was that?
I've seen plenty of religious billboards too.
And you're going to hell.
You ever notice that like religious people are always like they always use the fucking creepiest shit, and you know they're thinking about it too. I wonder, when did I run into this? Oh yeah, I was this whole they're teaching kids fucking sex ed shit. There was a tweet, you probably saw it, TJ, where some Christian dude was just like, it's 2048. All the kids in the kindergarten go into the sex room where they're allowed to have any kind of sex that they want. And the teacher masturbates in the corner and cheers them on. And I'm just like, you know, he's trying to like paint it like our morals are slipping. But in doing that, he sat and fucking verbalized a fantasy about a fucking classroom of kindergartners fucking.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait, huh? Was that your intention or what?
It's how disgusting they all are. Yeah, oh my God. It's so wrong. And it's like, wait a minute. Why you guys talk? Dude, people's kinks just show with this shit. Like, they're so socially repressed that like their brains go to this devious shit, and the only way they can think to like couch it so it's acceptable is to make it like, this is what these disgusting people want.
Yeah, you do. You know what fucking Pat Robertson's browser history is? Fucking teen sex, man.
I like it when they just TJ. I like it when they just turn 18. TJ. Don't you like that when they turn 18, they're having sex on a billboard?
It's beautiful. All right there on a billboard for the whole world to see.
Just between you and me, I like them a little bit younger.
Maybe, you know, it's just like a little shy of that 18th birthday, you know? Yeah.
If they tried to put up a billboard.
I mean, that's what the enemy thinks. That's how the enemy is. They're a bunch of damn monsters over there on that other side. Oh,
they tried to put up a billboard of like 2 barely legal teens just sucking and fucking and licking each other's buttholes and just
so wrong.
One of them dressed up like a French maid and the other one in a bear costume. And they're just fucking and sucking away, man. There'd be no goddamn way
billboard
that
too.
happen.
You ever seen them new billboards where it does it like in real time, like you're really going at it?
Then the family dog walks in, starts butt fucking one of them. And then mom and dad come home and they go, "Hey, what's going on there? You can't do that without us." And then they strip naked and join in. I mean, they wouldn't let you put that on the billboard.
On a billboard, no.
Motherfucker. Dude, I know what you're looking at, Pat.
Old Pat.
Atheists to take a hike. There's no First Amendment that says, the billboard companies have to put your atheist message up. So that's forget this First Amendment
Actually,
stuff.
there is.
The government.
Actually, there is. Actually, if they're going to put your Christian message up, then they got to put your atheist message up. Now, do they have to? No. But will they? Or do they open themselves up to fucking discrimination suit if they do? Yes. Yeah. Have there been discrimination suits filed when billboard companies don't decide to fucking put up an atheist billboard? Yes. Have the atheists won a lot of those cases? Yes. Come on, buddy. Like, what if I wanted to put up a billboard of Lot getting fucked and sucked by his daughters? You know what I mean?
That would be okay because it's religious in nature. Okay.
Yeah. What if my billboard was, "Hey, God loves you a lot," and then it's just like Lot fucking doggy style and one of his fucking daughters.
Lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, anyway, we should be denied shit. Here's more Pat Robertson because one wasn't enough.
Very concerned because this past weekend, my 6-year-old grandson said that his dad told him God and Jesus were not real and were just made up to scare people about dying. I tried to explain the truth to him, but he won't believe me. I'm worried for my grandson's soul.
Well, you should be. If there's any way you can get that child away from it, this is his grandfather who's telling him
this. It's his father.
Father telling him that.
So I don't know if that's her son or her son-in-law. She doesn't know what to say.
I don't know. And but if there's any way you could get him enrolled in a Christian school or get him into some, they have daily vacation Bible school and things.
As quick as can be.
There has to be. I'm never going to give up on the indoctrination of this child. No matter how much his father tries to instill him with rational, critical thinking skills, I will stand in the way of that however I can. I will keep the grift going as my granddaddy did before me.
Back in biblical times, they would just get a length of rope and beat a child for being blasphemous like that. I think you ought to do that. Just beat him into submission.
There are all kinds of things you could do to kind of get him into some positive influences.
You know, another thing that would be great for her would be Superbook.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's all Bible stories.
Superbook. You know what would be great for her? The thing we're selling. Oh, yeah. Good idea. Usually you're a worthless fucking cunt, Margaret, but today you really fucking shine.
Look at the smile on his fucking face,
too. Peddle our fucking trash. Yeah.
This is a recipe for ostracizing your family. Like, when you asked to watch little Timmy, we actually shoved religion down his throat.
Where do you think a lot of that shit filters down from? Like, those families who are like, I disown you and shit. A lot of it's like coming from the Pat Robertsons of the world, right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Get a set of that and show it to him and see what happens.
Look at his face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna get paid. Oh yeah, Superbook.
Oh yeah. This one's a little too long. Fuck that. One question atheists can't answer: how to destroy atheism.
I bet we can answer it.
All right,
We can't, dude.
I always love these. This is like the oldest clickbait there was. Doesn't seem to work like it used to, because I don't think anyone looks at this guy and feels like he's gonna pose a question you can't answer. But maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, Superbook's a series. Okay, well, Powers wants to sell you on a whole fucking.
Maybe I'm
series.
misunderestimating him.
Atheism is actually the easiest worldview in the world to refute.
Cool.
And it's because of this one question that we're about to uncover.
Wouldn't this video just be like you click on it and then the question happens? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are the chances this is just Pascal's wager?
Not only that, this is clearly just this guy is selling some stupid Bible game, and he's just trying to like get clicks to fucking sell his stupid Bible game.
Yeah,
which is fine, I guess. But here we go.
Devastating if asked to anyone other.
Then just ask it. Like if you got this devastating one question that destroys atheism, like wouldn't you just be like, all right, guys, here it is. If blah da blah da da, then blah da 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 da. Atheism defeated. And we're just like, whoa, fuck, he destroyed
Someone
us.
who has been sent by God. Now we've done a video series, How to Answer Like Jesus. You can see that up there or in the description below, where we go into the depth of what's actually happening in this account. Right now, we're just going to be focusing on the question the Pharisees posed, but if you want to see how Jesus responds and why he responded in the way he did, make sure to check out part 2 of that video series. Now, the context of this question is
Dude, I'm already fucking sleep deprived. Just get to the fucking point.
So Matthew 21. Oh, shit. So yet again, the Bible.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, what is it? By whose authority what? Atheism, pickle? All right. There's no one question. We're done. You wasted enough of my time. When these atheists ridiculing prayer wake up in hell, they'll believe in God, but it'll be too late.
Damn.
Out at, quote, thoughts and prayers in the wake of the Texas church shooting, CNN's Don Lemon said, quote, thoughts and prayers didn't stop a troubled person from buying assault-grade weapons that took the lives of 26 people in an instant. Adding faith without works is dead. MSNBC's Joy Reid piled on, tweeting, remember when Jesus of Nazareth came upon thousands of hungry people and rather than feeding them, thought and prayed. As for Representative Ted Lieu, the California Democrat walked out of a congressional moment
hold
of
on. No,
silence.
I don't remember that because it never fucking happened.
I remember that.
Sure
like,
that,
no.
Yeah, I remember that part in the Bible, and if you can go ahead and fucking, like, if it's that easy, why don't you pray fucking hunger away? Why don't you get some loaves and fishes down to Ethiopia this summer?
Sounds good. If it can work, I mean, I'm all for it.
Being held in honor of the victims, he chose to film a Facebook video about gun control as his fellow members of Congress mourn for the victims and their families. Joining me now, Robert Jeffress, pastor of the First Baptist Church of Dallas and
So wait, they're gonna give him shit for like, while he was busy trying to actually address the problem, his colleagues were praying.
Yep.
Like, and that's what we're supposed to be like. Wow, his colleagues are great.
His colleagues were busy
Hate to break it
virtue
to you.
signaling
Yeah, while
what
his
great
colleagues
people they
were
are.
busy virtue signaling about how great they are, you know. Awesome, love it.
Pastor, it's great as always to see you. I've just got to get your reaction.
Okay, so this is like Hitler's reincarnated
because the
grandson or
snark
something,
and the
or whatever.
Aggressive atheistic sort of response, I think, on the part of many left-wingers. Don Lemon, I mean, that remark in particular is bizarre.
Is it?
Well, it is. Look, some of these, not all, but some of these on the left
let's just
who
read
don't
this.
believe in prayer, don't
Was
believe in
Democrats
God.
condemn prayer as like a weak? Can you go back like a second? As like as a weak response? Yeah,
In
Democrats
particular,
condemn
it
prayer
was-
as a weak response to Texas shooting. It is because people have.
Yeah. Oh no.
What has it done? There's mass shootings have only gone up, and this is like from 2017 during the pandemic, from 2019 up. There've been more mass shootings, more people have been killed. Like if prayer stopped that, then we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't even be discussing this at this point. we're discussing more and more wanton death and violence in our country. So if the power of prayer is supposed to be this like great shield from us, it's failed. So if you want to look at it that way, the power of prayer is a fucking failure. It does nothing for nobody.
It's because not enough people prayed, Scotty. It's because you didn't pray, did you?
No.
Where was
nobody?
You?
No,
you didn't pull your weight. If
pray.
everybody prayed, Scotty.
So God's got a quota? Are you telling me God's like a fucking like goddamn patrol cop where it's all like, how many prayers we get today?
It's
no,
like
not enough.
There's a prayer meter up in heaven, and if it don't reach at least 80%,
Jesus is just sitting there like, my hands are tied until it reaches 80%, guys.
Oh, right. So, because when people were super religious, like back in like medieval times and shit, like they were really happy back then. Oh, wait, they lived short, brutal lives and dealt with like plagues and pestilence and a government that had totally oppressed them. And they lived short, brutal lives and were murdered like massive rates.
Didn't pray hard enough.
Damn, when did people pray hard enough? When did that happen?
It ain't happened yet.
We're waiting on it still.
Yeah.
One of these. Oh, wait. When Moses parted the Red Sea.
Okay, that was the one time.
That was the one time it happened.
We were like, everyone got down and prayed, and it was like, God's like, all right, prayer meter's there. I'll grant you the Red Sea.
Yeah, for once you fuckers did something right. You prayed enough.
Bizarre.
Well, it is. Look, some of these,
Is it?
not all,
That's
but
rational.
some of these on the left who don't believe in prayer, don't believe in God. They're atheist.
Oh,
and
no.
When these atheists ridiculing prayer wake up
Wait a
in
minute, why
hell
did God
one
protect
day,
the church?
just like church
Were they
shooter
were they
Devin
fake
Kelly.
Christians?
Wait, hold on. I want to hear this. I want to hear this
Okay,
quote.
I'll shut up.
He's literally just, hold on.
Well, it is. Look, some of these, not all, but some of these on the left who don't believe in prayer, don't believe in God. They're atheist. And when these atheists ridiculing prayer wake up in hell one day, just like church shooter Devin Kelly did Sunday afternoon, they'll suddenly believe in God, but it'll be too late. But I do think...
Ah, yes, the fantasy of your eventual vindication.
Yeah, I love this. Doesn't it just reveal the heart of Jesus that these people are looking forward to people roasting for eternity?
One day, Jesus has filled me with love, and that's why I'm so happy that one day my enemies will burn forever. What?
Everybody that ever disagreed with me, and I'll be up in heaven with a spyglass watching it all. Love and peace, baby. The fucking people are fucking... Dude, they're psychos. Christianity is a psychotic fucking death cult.
Yeah,
it's like
100%.
They walk around with these big smiles on their faces talking about love and friendship and acceptance, but you get them a little candid and they're just like, I can't wait till you roast in hell. You fucking sickos, man. You bunch of fucking weird fucks, man. Get the hints from me, to quote your Bible. Get the fuck away from me.
I love the whole thing, like, too, about like if you go to a religious area, like, oh, you like, you know, it's like you see the guys approaching you, but you know, find out they're religious. It's like, oh no, it's actually terrifying when you run into people who are super religious. They're some of the most terrifying people you will ever fucking meet. Like,
they're just vacant-eyed and fucking brainwashed and just like violent. Like they just got like a smile that belies like any second I got a hair triggered to blow your fucking face off, motherfucker, for Jesus. What'd you say? You say something about Jesus, motherfucker, I'll beat your fucking head. It's like, how does this fucking happen, man? How do people get this fucking like duality in them? It's fucking
empty vessels get filled up with something. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Yes, indeed.
To be fair, Lou, others on the left do believe in prayer, like Don Lemon, but they are mistakenly believing that more legislation would have prevented this tragedy.
So you're arguing, number one, why did God not protect the church? The only reason I could come up with is that they were, you know what, they didn't pray hard enough, or they were not the right version of Christianity or religion. So how do we know that if there is a God, that God is actually not pleased right now at this moment with the shooter?
Yeah, God's like, you know, I sent that shooter to take care of some fucking people I didn't like.
I love this fucking, like, how they play up this, you fucking closing your eyes and having a pretend conversation with yourself is powerful. But then he goes like, they're just mistaken idea that more legislation would have ended this fucking, that could have prevented this shooting. Yeah, like legislation banning the fucking sale of weapons, legislation mandating the reporting of people with mental illness, legislation that increased the quality of fucking education so that maybe the abuse that whoever did this fucking shooting that they went under when they were kids wouldn't happen. Yeah, they downplay the only thing in the fucking world that could possibly have impinged upon the thing as completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
In order to hold up like people murmuring to themselves in their own head. Like, what kind of fucking backward shit is this, man?
Just typical religion, that's all.
Because the people these people, and obviously Fox Business has a vested interest, because this is the solution they want, the solution that actually doesn't address the problem, which are large societal issues that are super complex, that are multifaceted. Instead that's why the narrative in this country is it's just a crazy person with a gun. That's all it is. It's a nut. They snapped. They killed these people. All we can do is pray and say, why, oh, why? Oh, it's horrible. Well, we can't change anything. Any of the material conditions that led up to this have nothing to do with what happened. It was just insanity or lack of God.
I know all the rivers is polluted and all the crops are failing, and I know the temperature's going up and wars and rumors of war just around every corner. But if everybody could just stop and wish upon a star.
Well, yeah. Why not?
I'm just gonna do that. Look, guys, I did.
If you wish upon a star.
Oh, I love that.
Fucking idiots, man.
I just imagine myself, you know what? The world's a fucked up place. Let's wish upon that shooting star.
Everybody look up at the sky. Look real hard and try and find a shooting star. When you see one, wish on it.
I wish nothing bad ever happened again.
What a bunch of dupes, man. Just a bunch of fucking dupes. They made that cartoon for little kids, man. That fucking Wish Upon a Star Jiminy Cricket shit was for kids. And here's a grown ass man. Look at him, man. Look at him, a grown ass man going, man, they're trying to say that us wishing upon a star doesn't do nothing. And then some of them are out there trying to create legislation. It's like, what did legislation ever accomplish? Wish upon a star. Fucking break, bro.
It's a beautiful thing,
Yeah, you gotta love them. You gotta love them.
Wish upon that star. If you wish hard enough, it will
tonight.
come true.
Dude, tonight, that's what I'm gonna be up to.
That's what you got to do. You want to have that freedom. You got to do it. You got to fucking wish upon that star. You got to look that star dead in the eye and be like, give me what I want, star. Fucking piece of shit.
You know what I want, star.
Come on. You know it. Give me the fucking good, star. You know what I need. You know what the fuck I want around this bitch. All right, let's see. I think we have a few more, maybe. Pastor warns millennials are losing knowledge of God. Cool.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know how it is. Let's take a look at... I think we are supposed to skip to a particular minute marker on this. Yeah, we're going to go to 1:15 on this, I think. This is the one we're going to do that on, right?
So, speaking of millennials,
okay. We're going to 1:15 on this. And I think, yeah, here we go. Boop.
That is coming from Christianity, and then the cultural attack that exists reinforces that, saying Christianity is irrational and it's immoral, and young adults can't see otherwise because they don't know that God exists, why they should believe that, and they've not seen a pure form of Christianity lived out amongst their parents and grandparents and the broader adult Christian community.
No true Christian. They haven't seen a pure form of Christianity. They have seen the wrong kind of Christianity, the wrong Christianity. Get out of here, you fucking idiot. I mean, these bucket heads, I can't even believe they're still out there, man.
They're still
I cannot believe.
They take a licking and keep on ticking, you know?
Well, I mean, are you going to give up the scam? I mean, like the grift never dies, right? And like, all this is like these guys are looking at their numbers and going like, numbers are down, guys. This is the same as like a businessman having a meeting going like, like they're having a Netflix right now, like, damn, subscribers are down. These guys are going like, we got to get more asses in seats so we can keep making money on this grift. So like, we got to do a better job. Like you grandparents out there, you got to get them in. Get them in before it's too late.
Got to make sure you indoctrinate your kids now. Your kids aren't doing it right. You fucked up. You failed with them. You got to get your grandkids.
That's who it's targeted towards. Fox News audience skew is super old. It's like 60 plus. It's like if you look at the commercials, it's all for shit like for your joints and like Medicare and shit. This is like Grandpa needs to jump back in. Like, look, Grandpa, you thought you retired. You thought you spend your days of leisure like fishing and shit, being godly. Well, guess what? God's calling you to a new calling. This guy's wallet is getting a little light. He needs you to fill it back up.
To research that actually go to services. I'm a millennial. I think about what religion a lot of my friends exist with or what religion they belong to, and it's their iPhones oftentimes. I mean, people just sit on their
technology. Oh my God, they just worship their iPhones.
Full saddle, TJ.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
I love how she acts like people that do go to church don't worship their cell phones. They worship at the altar of fucking iPhone more than they worship at the fucking church.
It's atheist only, though.
No, but I'm not worshiping my phone. I'm using my phone as a tool. I mean, come on now. No one's putting their phone on a fucking pedestal and going, oh, I give my worship to thee.
All day long, you could argue that maybe that's a way to connect with the religious community, but in a lot of ways, you're disconnected from it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things, technology is great, but one of the things that the smartphone has done is it's isolated us. And one of the things we find with the younger generations is an epidemic of
that isolation has made it harder for us to indoctrinate them.
loneliness. And so certainly through the smartphone and all of its promises and social media connectivity, what it's actually done, it's broken that down. And we've actually seen that in the church. You're exactly right. Fewer and fewer people come to church. But again, it's because when they...
Yep. Told you, that's all the problem is. Fewer and fewer people are showing up for him to fucking grift on. And he's scared. He's like, oh shit.
The collection plate has been real light since the internet came out. I'm trying to find a new work, you grifting piece of fucking shit.
Well, you gotta like Walmart it, dude. So like a lot of these, the most popular Christian figures in America right now are definitely the ones that are basically just like the self-help guru / like, all right, I'll throw a little Christianity in there for you too. We're saying we'll church so we don't have to pay taxes. You know,
dude,
like
we should all come up with like a helping religious grifters find a new scam. You know what I mean? We should just write like a book, like, you know, the flock not showing up for Sunday service. Try the Nigerian scammer. You know what I mean?
Here's 17 quick scams you can do at home right now.
Transition
all right, dude, let's
to
get
a
on
brand new scam. That's pretty much all I have. I feel like we didn't come up across Pascal's wager, I guess, or the blind watchmaker argument. So that's an oversight, but
I think a lot of those I don't hear very often at all anymore.
Maybe those are just maybe even the Christians realize that's too lame to bring up anymore. I don't know.
You know one that never goes away is like the creation one. Just like look around. That one, I think you'll never die. Just because it's such an easy one. Because anyone can make that argument. Like, how'd that tree get there?
Yeah.
If you make it, you know, a house, you know, a builder came and built it. But a tree, that's from God. Because I mean, anyone can make that one. So that's probably the one I hear the most that hasn't like died often.
Well,
but I think you're right.
That's basically. Is that the blind watchmaker? Yeah, basically is. Yeah,
it's a variation of that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you just still hear that, I guess. Anyway, that's a little recap of why religion's bullshit, why atheism is correct, why the fucking world is doomed. But that's every episode.
Pretty much.
Anyway, love you guys. See you next time. Thank you for all the people who joined us.
Bye.
If anybody joined just to watch this, hope you enjoyed it. Peace.